blind to these events as they transpired, so I found the discourse fascinating. It turns out that my little gift of a familiar had gotten Balthazar into a spot of trouble. Apparently, he used that disgusting bug Zack to contact a high elf by the name of Kalefell. Everyone's favorite warlock must have made quite an impression, for it was Kalefell who resurrected him, not me. Seeing Taz as more of an ally than an enemy, Kale returned him to his friends. For now, there seem to be no strings attached, my little heretics, but when dealing with elves, one can never be too sure. Act 2, wherein our heroes shelter in place. Faced with yet another Amarthian storm, our heroes hunkered down for the night as best they could. Between sleet, snow, and fierce winds, they managed to survive. Young Nakma proved quite adept at keeping the shelter in good shape. Meanwhile, the pious Ember kept them warm through the long, cold night. Oh, such a good Ember. Low on supplies after leaving their makeshift shelter, our Arctic adventurers encountered a formidable manticore. Not wishing to starve to death, they ambushed the beast in the hopes of restocking their food supplies. Taz landed the final blow and used his devil-driven gifts to absorb the creature's essence. Oh, how Ember seethed, my little heretics. For a brief moment, I thought he would strike the warlock down then and there, but no, he hesitated. Mark my words, little minions. A conflict is brewing there, and trust me when I say the devil will have his pound of flesh. Act 3, wherein our heroes learn a valuable lesson and reach their destination at last. After the scuffle with the manticore, for it can hardly be called a fight, our heroes continued on and found a most pitiful Yeti attempting to play dead. Having already seen this trick, the Frozen Four attacked without mercy. The Yeti, though, and this is the truly delicious part, my little heretics, was not faking it at all, but truly injured from the manticore they had slain earlier. By Agapalasia was Ember distraught. He healed the creature, and as a reward for their kindness, the Yeti presented them with 2 glorious diamonds. Well done to all. After this, they continued on to Bladespire and learned that their quarry was inside and accepted as one of the monks. Mooney discovered that the master he sought was ill. I wonder, will Thaddeus truly continue with his plan to murder the half-orc? Have our Arctic adventurers now become nothing more than Arctic assassins? Only time will tell. Come, sit with the devil, and we will watch it all together. How are we this week, my little heretics? It's so lovely to see each of your smiling faces. All cooped up inside your homes, watching our brave heroes traverse the snow and ice. It's almost like what we devils feel when you banish us to the hells below. Not so funny now, is it, mortals? At any rate, I digress. You haven't come here to listen to me ramble. You want to know what happened last week. Well, here's what I remember. Act 1, wherein our heroes discuss the morality of consorting with elves. Nakma, Ember, and Mooney began their questioning of Balthazar. Their intention was to learn more of his miraculous return. Taz began weaving a tale most curious. Even I was blind to these events as they transpired, so I found the discourse fascinating. It turns out that my little gift of a familiar had gotten Balthazar into a spot of trouble. Apparently, he used that disgusting bug Zack to contact a high elf by the name of Kalefell. Everyone's favorite warlock must have made quite an impression, for it was Kalefell who resurrected him, not me. Seeing Taz as more of an ally than an enemy, Kale returned him to his friends. For now, there seem to be no strings attached, my little heretics, but when dealing with elves, one can never be too sure. Act 2, wherein our heroes shelter in place. Faced with yet another Amarthian storm, our heroes hunkered down for the night as best they could. Between sleet, snow, and fierce winds, they managed to survive. young Nakma proved quite adept at keeping the shelter in good shape. Meanwhile, the pious Ember kept them warm through the long cold night. Oh, such a good Ember. Low on supplies after leaving their makeshift shelter, our Arctic adventurers encountered a formidable manticore. Not wishing to starve to death, they ambushed the beast in the hopes of restocking their food supplies. Taz landed the final blow and used his devil-driven gifts to absorb the creature's essence. Oh, how Ember seethed, my little heretics. For a brief moment, I thought he would strike the warlock down then and there, but no, he hesitated. Mark my words, little minions. A conflict is brewing there, and trust me when I say the devil will have his pound of flesh. Act 3, wherein our heroes learn a valuable lesson and reach their destination at last. After the scuffle with the manticore, for it can hardly be called a fight, our heroes continued on and found a most pitiful Yeti attempting to play dead. Having already seen this trick, the Frozen Four attacked without mercy. The Yeti, though, and this is the truly delicious part, my little heretics, was not faking it at all, but truly injured from the manticore they had slain earlier. By Agapalasia was Ember distraught. He healed the creature, and as a reward for their kindness, the Yeti presented them with 2 glorious diamonds. Well done to all. After this,
And audio is live.
And here we are for Chronicles of the Coast, our weekly Dungeons and Dragons stream
Woo!
as we explore the world of Amarth, the continent of Fierceheim, and story-wise, Mooney, the monk, lizard folk monk, has been on a personal quest in order to get to this particular area here in the cold north, the Blade Spire Monastery. You spoke with the guards. They gave off a little bit of a clue as to that the monastery has had some trouble in the past few days. They didn't give you a time frame, but they've had some trouble recently, and that the master of the monastery is indisposed. And so, with that being known, you were introduced to the second in command of this monastery, Obak the Scarred.
Oh,
She has
scarred.
a half orc female covered in scars. Some of them look ceremonial, almost intentional, but scars everywhere. Her body is just completely covered, so much so that she looks like she could be a page of Braille. And as she had seen you, she looks at you and she had invited you into the monastery. Her introductory line to you was, "My story is written in my scars. Let's see if you have anything to say."
Yeah, I think when we left off last, we were asking if the half orc had shown up, and then they said that they were going to bring him here.
I don't recall them saying that they were going to bring the half orc to you, but I do recall that they did say yes, a half orc, has arrived at Bladespire Monastery just about a quarter ago.
Okay. I believe they asked us if we were joining or what our intentions were last, and we told them that we were looking for the half orc, and if he was here. I lied about being friends with them or acquaintances, right? and then they went off to go get him. That's what I thought was going to happen. But
What
I
they did
think
was they
we were,
brought back Obok instead.
yeah, and we were trying to see if we were going to join the monastery or just trying to see if we can get into it yet. So Obok, when you say that the master is indisposed, um, what exactly happened? Are we allowed to ask?
I will allow you to ask about the monastery's master. Although what happened to him, I cannot rightly say. You are travelers. You seek a warm place and a meal in your belly for the night. The 5 of you may come in and stay with us. I ask that you earn your keep through helping maintain the monastery's function.
I think that sounds agreeable. I look back at the group, right?
One thing, what exactly is the monastery's function? What do you mean by that? Like grab a broom and sweep up some garbage and things, or is there some higher purpose that we must be of a service for?
If you find purpose in sweeping the grounds of the monastery, then so be it. Even the most trivial of tasks must be done. The smallest cog has a purpose in the greater gears of life. If you wish to find a higher purpose, then perhaps this is the place. Many
It's just
warriors across the north of Fjorta and beyond come to our monastery seeking enlightenment, as those who live here have found a calling in what it is to live by the blade.
blade. Okay. Well, that
What
is
does it
not my
mean?
path.
What does it mean to be a Kensai monk?
Let us speak about this over a warm meal. Open
Oh,
the
awesome.
gates. Allow them in. It's a crude gate. It's hardly more than wood and bits of iron banding. But they open it, they unlatch a lock, a chain comes free, and the gates swing open to you, revealing a graveled pathway beyond. 2 guards nod to you in approval as Obok gives you her blessing to enter, and you move in and begin trudging across a great bridge held aloft by massive rope line stretched taut from one end of the other. The bridge sways in the wind and rocks back and forth with every footstep across it. Your boots or your boots in traveling equipment making hollow sounds upon the wood. You chance a glance over the side of the bridge in the rough timbers to look down, and you see hundreds of feet down below what looks to be a frozen river.
Huh.
She takes you to another set of gates, these ones looking much more formidable than the others, with more iron banding. This time with an unusual ramshackle kind of design to them, as Nordica shields, kite shields, heater shields of all different kinds of warriors, family crests, and everything are lashed to the framed timbers of this gate. You look at it and you see several house figures that you somewhat recognize from Fjorta and Dragonsport.
Very well.
The gate opens up at her approach, and you move into what appears to be a large courtyard.
As we walk through, what house figures were those?
Give me a history check.
Sure. Let's see if I remember. Oops, I'm grabbing perception on accident. Sorry, guys. Oh, cool.
20.
There it is.
Fantastic.
Get it.
Okay. Looking at the shields and the crests on them, you know that the Nordica people have more of a stylized kind of heraldic device. It's not as easily recognizable, but you still pick apart the design motifs. And one of the designs that you pick off most foremost would be what looks to be a sign, the heraldic device of Bjornulf.
From
It would
Dragonsport.
from Dragonsport, someone in his family. However, obviously it could not have been Bjornulf, but this is what you notice.
Whoa. Okay. So, someone related to Bjornolf lives here?
As you ask this out loud, Obak turns over her shoulder and looks to you and says, perhaps at some point, those who join our monastery leave behind their old lives. You leave behind everything that you were. You place your shield upon our gates. In doing so, you leave behind all of your family ties. What you see here upon the walls of our monastery are those who came here seeking a higher purpose, to study in the ways of the Kensai, to learn the deep meaning of what it is to live by the blade.
You have the shields of many formidable warriors on your walls. It seems as though this temple carries great honor. I salute you.
Is the symbol of Genesis hanging amongst these?
You do not see that symbol upon the shields.
Okay.
She brings you up to a couple of what looks to be a third gate with some sort of a gatehouse. There are two doors on the side flanking there, certain other gatehouses and such on the sides of the building. A few monks travel here and there from place to place as they work on different chores. One pulls a wagon. Simple gardens of earth root and vegetables are being tended to. But more so is that there is a place which acts as a stables, and you see that they have a great many goats, and that they appear to keep the goats for probably more than just the milk that you see a few monks tending to. But you step inside, and here you are in the court proper. There are two large statues that you see of what look to be Nordica type humans. And though they are shrouded in robes, you see what looks to be the stylized motifs of chainmail hanging underneath, and that they brandish large weapons, spears, but the spear is not so much a spear head on the end, but it looks to be like the 3 feet of a sword attached to the end of a spear shaft.
Very interesting. Obak, I had a question for you in relation to something you said earlier.
Go on.
You mentioned that when a warrior comes here and they hang their shield on your gates, they leave their past lives behind, all allegiances and so on. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And I wonder, how do you all know whether or not someone has truly left their past behind?
Their actions speak for them. Those who come here seeking enlightenment, it is rigorous training. Some leave, perhaps go back to their old lives, but as long as you are here, you are an equal. Well, those who are initiated, you are a visitor.
And we thank you for that honor. I just wonder, are there any who have fooled you all in the past, who have managed to stay within your ranks and hide their true intentions?
Those who come here wish to study to become better warriors, to learn to live, to have their weapon be as much a part of them as their arm. That is the intention of all who practice here.
Very well, thank you for answering my questions. I appreciate this.
Even if they are wanted men, all their transgressions are forgiven once they join your order?
The transgressions that they have outside of this monastery do not exist within this monastery. So long as you are here, you are either a guest or you are initiated.
Okay.
You leave your past life behind you. She continues to guide you further into the monastery, opening up more areas of it to you. You move through what looks to be sort of a simple guardhouse in the center, taking you into what looks to be next another courtyard. And in this particular courtyard, you are given the sight of dozens of different warriors who are training in weapon combat. Short swords, daggers, hand to hand, as well as similar weapons of what you saw in the statues. A spear polearm weapon with the blade of a sword attached to the end of it. She takes you even further forward still, and you move in through an area of personal chambers, robes, curtains, and such hang down. And she says, This is the personal quarters of the master of the monastery. Unfortunately, normally you would meet the master. I'm afraid that I am standing in, though I do not hold that rank. Tell me now. Take a seat, enjoy a meal, and share with me your story. Why have you come here? Do you seek to become members? As you take your seats around this table in a particular area, several different monks wearing chainmail and scaled armor move in, and they bring in bowls and a pot of what looks to be some sort of a hot soup. The smell of boiling water and broth and carrots are strong and rich upon the dinner presented before you, as well as a modest mug of what looks to be something frothy, but does not smell like beer.
I slam my my helmet onto the floor, kind of like it's a little too
Sniff the
loud.
drink.
It's so quiet in here. Fucking. It's like full of snow. Ugh. When was the last time we got to eat hot meal, guys?
I believe it's been quite some time, Mooney. We were stuck outside in that hideous storm for quite a while. Must tell you, I'm fairly exhausted. I'm not sure what we'd do without your kindness, Obak.
What lands do you hail from?
Oh
That-
yeah.
That story is long and complicated, is it not, my fellows?
I am from Minthios.
Okay, so not so complicated for the Minotaur.
I have heard of Minthios, though none of your kind train here.
No, I'm sure you've never seen my kind before.
And the rest of you?
My name is Emba, and I hail from the Great Cave in Octopala Isles.
Quite the journey then, from what I understand.
It is. Gapalaja brings me all over the place.
I've come from Weathertop. We traveled from there to here.
You notice that she has arched an eyebrow in intrigue.
Mooney on that journey. I also have visited Weathertop.
What about you, Time Cop?
My name is Thaddeus. Apologize. I am Thaddeus Thornbranch. I am a wizard and scholar of the great Time Lord, and I prefer to investigate all anomalies, past, present, and future, to make sure that time flows as it should. Obok hears him speak, and she doesn't even make eye contact with him. Since Mooney said the words Weathertop, she has not blinked, but has maintained a constant stare at him. What brings you here, Mooney?
I was hoping to meet with the master, but he's indisposed.
Yes,
As the current. Sorry, go ahead.
the master's name is Gudre. As I said, he is indisposed. Until he can be replaced as master, we unfortunately are not accepting any challengers, any new members. Tell me
Yeah.
then, have you visited the other schools of tradition?
No, this is my second one. Just Weathertop in this.
Do you bear the belt of Weathertop?
No, I do not have the belt of Weathertop. Who do you know, a man or woman who could defeat Pai Mei?
So Pai Mei lets no one into the monastery who cannot defeat him these days. Indeed, as a master, he has grown difficult. I look forward to the day that one will replace him. But if you do not bear membership of Weathertop, then tell me, Mooney, why have you come to Bladespire?
I had a master, and it didn't work out. He abandoned me. I went to Weathertop, and I couldn't learn elemental key. They told me I have no knack for it, no talent. So they told me I could go to here. But on the way here, I learned how to use key quite recently, actually.
The cold north has taught you well, then.
Yeah. I mean, Weathertop was cool, but the dangers I've faced before that have, never been as complicated as this.
How do you see the key, Mooney?
I don't see it. It's a feeling.
Many monks have described it in different ways. I have always seen it as flowing as water does. Do you know that the key is the life force of all living beings?
Yeah, I've heard at Weathertop it described like that. The way they shape it.
Do you know that we are all beings of water? And that here in the cold north, one is truly hardened. I know this because, as a creature of water, you poke enough holes in a creature, and all of that life flows out. If you wish to be part of us, Mooney, I put before you a special task. We cannot take any new members until Gudre is no longer master. So long as he breathes, he is the master.
What?
Enjoy. So long as Gudre breathes, he is the master of Bladespire. I will allow you to think upon this.
Or
You may
are you
use...
asking me to?
Silence, young one. You may use these quarters for you and your friends. Think upon what I have said.
Hold on a second.
We are done speaking.
No, that's not how this works.
She
You gotta
steps up
tell me.
and begins walking away. She opens up a door and travels out of the room and into the rest of the monastery, and leaving you alone at the table with you, Ember, Nakma, Balthazar, and Thaddeus.
Listen, something's not right here. They're not taking new members, but this Dorn guy's Genesis, if he's wanting to be part of this, where's his emblem on the gates? And why is he becoming a new member if they're not taking new members?
He must have been here before then. But she said that he's been indisposed for a few weeks?
Not Dorn, not the guy we're looking for, the half-orc.
The half
No,
of
I'm
Dawn?
talking about Goodray.
Right.
I'm sorry. Who is Goodray?
Goodray is the master of this temple.
Something's not right here. It's just not
Dude.
feeling it.
Did they just straight up ask me to go assassinate him? Is that what it sounded like?
That's definitely what it sounded like. I think for the good of the timeline, we should probably kill anyone who gets in our way.
I do not wish to become your personal assassin, Thaddeus. I apologize for that inconvenience to you.
I pull out the ball.
Who's in our way?
Why did you get in this adventure anyways then?
Why did I get into this adventure anyways then?
If not to be my personal assassin. Oh no. He's got the ball.
Uh-oh.
The magic Eternium ball.
You are getting all too comfortable with that magic ball, Mooney.
Okay. Is Obak here good or bad?
Oh my, such an ambiguous question.
As you shake the Eternium ball, magical shimmering letters appear over it, and you cast this augury spell. And these shimmering letters just reply hazy.
Sorry, guys, I really
Magic ball.
whiffed that question.
Mm-hmm.
Careful, you can only use that 3 times in a day.
Oh, good. Then we got 2 more, right?
Well, you got
Maybe
one
you
more.
should rub that ball this time, Mooney, instead of shake it.
I must admit that this morning when you were asleep, I did get into your belongings and I used it for personal. But I only used it once, so you got one more.
All right, Ember, you're an Inquisitioner, right? What would you ask a monk what would you ask the 8-ball to figure out if we're actually this is a test or not? Oh, that's the question. Why didn't I think of that? Is this a test? Should I kill the master?
It's not the answer. Who am I running with if the answer is to kill someone we don't even know, have never even met? Of course that's not the answer.
I don't know. Maybe he's a really terrible master. Like, what if he's the worst master that's ever been around? I don't know him.
You're making up facts here.
I am
They
making
judge
up
of
facts
that?
here.
I don't know,
Right.
looking around. This is a nice
All right.
place.
Yeah, looking around, it does seem like a nice place. You know what? I'm not going to kill the master. That's it right now.
Hey,
We're done.
I agree with
Full stop.
Balthazar. We should go with alternative facts on this one.
What?
Not say that. Where did you get
No.
Where did you come
Full
up with
stop.
that idea?
We're
Thaddeus?
done. We're not murdering people. Okay, that's not what we do
Keep your
anymore.
voice down, guys. Come on.
Where are we? I've just come back from the restroom, fellas.
Guys,
and I
how good
nearly
is the
got
soup
lost.
though? Like, from a 1 to 10. I'm kind of
Soup?
leaning at like a 4.
The soup
I don't want
is
to be rude.
barely. It is barely a 4.
It is
It's
a
good though, it's
modest.
warm.
It is warm. It's a modest fare. It's a broth made from the boiled bones of some animal, and it's filled with carrots for
I
sustenance.
like the carrots.
Guys, it tastes like feet, but like it's not really good feet. Like I've had better.
I'm just eating the carrots.
Thaddeus, remind me, who do you serve?
I serve the Lord of Time, of course.
The Lord of Time. And how would the Lord of Time feel with you meddling and murdering anyone who you choose?
That's a good question.
Does
Are
it
you
fix the timeline?
And how? And you
Is
are
this a
you are
flowchart?
you are the judge. You are the jury. You are the executioner.
Time is the judge. I am merely the hand. I am the sword in the darkness.
So let me get this straight. You think about something that needs to be done, listen to a voice in your head, and decide who should live or die? You sound like a madman, Thaddeus.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Only a madman would entrust themselves and swear a pact with otherworldly beings. What kind of fool would do such a thing?
That feels oddly personal and slightly deflective.
I'm not otherworldly. I mean, I'm a lizard folk, but I come from the Feywild.
Exactly.
It's like this
Moon,
world, but like better.
don't listen to him.
Ish. It's got a lot of assholes.
He is targeting you, my friend.
Well, I mean, can you just go look to see how the master's doing? Like, don't you have that ability?
Who?
Why don't we all just go to look and visit the master?
Yeah, I mean, they're
option.
not physically stopping us, right?
Physically, they've done nothing but welcome us.
Okay, well, let's go see how he's doing.
I'm not done eating yet. Hold
Yeah,
on.
no, I would like to finish my soup. Thank you very much. He always,
Oh my gosh.
Mooney, always eager to ruin my dinner.
Mm.
I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to knock it over. It wasn't my turn to move the spigot.
Well, I will continue to enjoy my bowl of soup in the awkward silence that has now formed between us at the mention of multiple murders. If it pleases you all.
I'm not
No.
pleased with that word.
I'm sorry
Multiple?
I knocked over the rabbit, okay? I didn't mean to.
That's what it is. I couldn't put my finger on it. It's a rabbit stew.
It is quite delicious.
Oh.
That's why the carrots.
Ha! I like these people. They're ironic.
Where do they find the rabbits out here? In a mountaintop?
There's rabbits
Anyway.
all over the woods.
Arctic hare. No doubt they have a hutch.
Of course, of course. At any rate, the soup is not bad. The company is better. I must say I am thankful to be back amongst you, my friends. Despite the fact that we find ourselves in yet another precarious predicament.
Agreed.
Ember,
I like the smells around here. It smells good.
Ember, I wanted to bring something up with you. You know I do not steal souls, right?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
I have been giving this some thought, and the sheer look of disgust on your face when I harvested the essence of that manticore, which was so delicious, by the way. I would never dream of touching that creature's soul. That is for whatever entity it worships, if such a thing could be said.
My friend Balthazar, you speak of such things like essences and souls like you've been here for a while. You've only been on this plane of existence for how long? A few weeks?
No.
You're this person that you worship. I've never even heard of them. My entire civilization, my centuries of history, we've never even heard of this person, Seleos.
That must be quite alarming to you. I can agree. However, I would like to remind you that I have been here for well over a year, my friend.
Then you're an expert.
On Amathian soil. No,
Hmm.
not an expert, but you see, when I did make this, such a dirty word, but pact, I guess you could say, with Seleos, he imparted to me certain tidbits. Not much, but as a being of power himself, he was able to learn a few things upon coming here, and so educated me, a fact for which I am greatly appreciative. And I have leaned into it, embraced it fully, and I will continue to do so. I just thought you should know I am no harvester of souls.
Taz, my friend, when you make deals and pacts, it's always with the devil. Didn't you know this?
I have
That's
made no
not true.
bones.
I've made plenty of pacts with friends.
Well, that is a good point, Mooney. I have made pacts with friends before to remain loyal, to remain
I'm not
agreeable.
judging you. I'm
I
just
mean, us all working together is a
concerned.
pact, right?
Well, perhaps it is deeds that you need to see, my friend Ember, and not words. And that is difficult for me, for I am generally a man of words. I use them to my advantage, and I use them well, unlike yourself, and I appreciate that. Perhaps in time, you will see that my deeds are not so evil as you fear.
Well, perhaps you can explain a little more about that ability that you're using, where they turn into a spiritual essence and then disappear within you, and how that's not taking their soul.
I can
Or
barely.
more importantly, you could also like tell us about. Nah, you know what? I lost my train of thought. Sorry to interrupt.
Thaddeus, cheers, my friend. Thank you.
You are a fickled man.
Cheers. What is it? Fermented goat's milk? It's delicious. Quite lovely.
I didn't know that it would be this good. Can we
The
call this a white Amarthan?
oh wait a minute. I like that. I like that.
You can call it whatever you want, as long as you call me if you're serving it up.
I can certainly tell you more about this ability, Amber, but perhaps now is not the time.
Well, you brought it up. I was just.
It is true.
It is a bit it is a bit concerning.
You know, one thing that I can say is that some mornings I can barely handle the weight of my own soul, Amber. If I was absorbing the entire soul of another, I don't even know that I can open my eyes, my friend. But
Well, it seemed to give you strength.
which is why I know it is not the soul of a person, because every soul has its darkness, and I can only handle my own.
Is that what Celeos told you? That it's not a soul.
You know, Celeos did not tell me anything about it, to be perfectly honest with you. It just feels intrinsic, like something that I know. But
Tell
perhaps
me
I
more
am wrong.
about Celeos. What are his goals?
Celeos himself?
Well,
man.
very recently. I've never even heard that name.
It
Indeed.
could be.
As a worshipper of Tethisticus, I must ask, what is it that your Celeos, what is his domain over? Has he told you what he aims for? You are a warlock, not a cleric. You are a tool of this being, who may not even be a god. Well, as we all know that Tethisticus, otherwise known as Primus, is a member of the Pantheon.
To the best of my knowledge, Celeos does not claim to be a deity. He fully admits that he is no god. And as far as I know, the reason why none of you all have heard of him is because he is a traveler lost in the plains like I am. He does not hail from this realm. Misplaced. However, what it is that he asks of me, I do not yet know. I know that he is a general with a vast army under his command, but he does not seek war. He is a pacifist. He seeks the agreement between men and women. And one thing that I can tell you is that since coming here, I have done my best to keep war out of the hands of those who would wage it.
Perhaps we should not ask the opinion of second-rate deities and packs assigned in back alleys behind whatever brothel you met this spirit in.
Unfortunately,
Come, friends.
my
I think it is time that we find the source of the plight of this monastery, and the time for this half-orc to meet his final destination.
the
I, for one, would
general
love to know more about Celeos' motivations, but perhaps now is not the time.
Ah, I have a feeling that he does not even understand this second-rate spirit as he
Well,
thinks he
why don't you
does.
let him speak for himself? I don't understand why you're even interrupting. We just met you.
Very well. Very well. I shall take a walk around the monastery. I'll meet up with you in time.
I'm going to go and see the master.
Mooney, I will accompany you, if you would have me.
I wish you all well. Be safe.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, guys.
No murders, please, Thaddeus, while you're away.
I'll hold him to it.
I don't actually.
Do the
Not my
murdering.
first course of action. In
Very well.
time, you'll see how I work.
Nekma, are you going to stay with them?
I don't know. This conversation's a little uncomfortable. Mooney, I think I'll attend with you, my man.
All right. Be careful, guys.
Well,
Amber, I'll make sure he don't kill anybody.
Just start throwing the chair out of the way. Just kidding.
We can continue this conversation elsewhere or another time. I am actually very curious to go see what is bothering this master.
Yes, I imagine that would hold a great interest to one of your skills. Amber, I would be more than happy to continue this conversation with you later. I love waxing philosophical.
So
No,
do I.
you guys you're good. Like, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I've been waiting for this for like about a year in travel almost.
Of course.
Yeah.
course.
Sorry,
Let us-
guys.
Let us go. I would rather accompany you.
I understand all
Life was so
too well,
grand a
Mooney.
year ago.
They
Ah,
kind of made it seem like it was a little urgent to see if we were going to kill him or not.
Yeah.
Time.
No, let us go.
time, Mooney. Time is always of the essence.
I don't want to hear that from you. You literally can go anywhere in time.
And yet I don't have enough of it.
So what are we doing? Finding Dorn or going to the master?
We are going to accompany Mooney to go see the master.
Okay.
So wait, are you saying as we keep going, like we're looking at the walls and stuff like that and looking for traps? Did they even point which way the master was? Does it say like master this way?
No.
It's probably the top of the blade spire, right, guys? You just
No,
gotta
no,
keep
no.
going up.
Mooney, remember the gifts that each of us hold in our heart. Nakma, lead the way. We have seen the master's chambers. Take us back there.
What?
Nakma has an infallible sense of direction. Mooney, do you not recall? And we have seen the master's chambers.
When did
Is
we
that-
see the master's chambers?
Olbach pointed them out to us. She said, "This is where you would meet the master. He lies beyond. Unfortunately, he is ill."
Ah, sorry. I had something in my ears earlier. I had to get it out, and I just couldn't hear anything for that whole part. I was kind
It
of
was before you removed your helmet. Yes, that's true.
Yes, it's that
Yeah, sorry.
goddamn helmet.
I'm sorry. The snow gets stuck inside.
so-
me.
Well, let's go.
The chamber that she was speaking of was literally the chamber that you were just sitting in eating soup.
That's what I thought.
That's what I
Oh.
thought too. We had
Yeah,
very near.
Are
Of
we alone?
course,
Are there other
Balthazar.
monks among us?
No.
Is he in the room right now? Oh my
No.
god! Did we just not notice him sleeping on the bed over there?
No.
They amongst us. I'm sorry. I'm really
He is not in the room.
Which direction did Obak go?
She left through this particular door here.
Point to the door and say, I think that we should follow Obak. If she has anything to hide, she will be next to her quarry.
No, I don't think
I agree,
This is
Amber.
the test to go to the master. So, quick question, real quick. What looks like the rig? Does this look anything like Weathertop?
No.
No. It's not like Weathertop, guys. I thought it'd look almost like it, and that we'd just be able to find the master, but
Right. So what I said is that Obak, if he had anything to hide, he would go and be with his quarry. He would be with the master, protecting him.
No, Obak is a lady.
All right, I'm gonna go through this door.
Nope, I'm
You
coming
step
ever.
you step through the door and it brings you into a large open hallway. It is sparsely furnished, lit by a candle, and there isn't a single bit of decoration to it. Completely utilitarian in design.
I will follow Ember and stick by his side for the time being.
There are doors here and there that you can see, areas that lead to other rooms.
We're here,
Oh.
right?
You're asking us to
Yep.
look for the map. I didn't think of that.
Okay. I nod in the direction of, down here, and I say, Ember,
Yes.
would you like to accompany me?
Yes. Further
start-
down the chamber. Absolutely.
And as soon as this here door comes into sight, just move on up to it.
Okay.
Sure. I'm doing perception checks. I mean, I don't really expect like any traps around here, but
You
just
should.
looking for hidden rooms of any kind, I guess.
Go ahead and give me a d20 roll on that.
Can I make a history check on the monks of this area? Like, what do I know about Kensai?
You certainly can, yes. Fantastic
that.
perception check.
Still a good roll.
With your perception, you look around. You see exactly as I said. It's sparse. It's utilitarian. There are candles. There are doors. There's almost no decoration. This place is purely to serve a purpose. It is 100% form. It is 100% function over form. Mooney, with your history check, you know that the Kensai monk, they have different monasteries scattered across the world. However, this particular one, Bladespire, you have been told of it by the monks of Weathertop. And if you would excuse me a second. And so, the monks of Weathertop, they take people in from all different kinds of walks of life, and their whole thing is to learn on how to to make the weapon a part of you, and it is self-realization and awareness and not ecstasy, but a feeling of elation and oneness with the universe through this weapon.
Nirvana.
They make fighting with a weapon an art form. So it's natural. It's very natural that raiders and warriors of the lands of Fjorta, the Nortica people, would respect them. However, they still fight. Their style of fighting is much different than just sword and board, as they would describe a fighter from different parts of the world. It's a spirituality of self-discovery and realization of the universe through combat. They're all about the fight. Now, you move into this particular room here. And I can't ping the map. There we go. You move into that room there, and you step into an area that looks to have different bits of. It appears to be a room of study, as well as a place that also is holding on to other pieces of jars and baskets of materials and supplies. There is a fire and a hearth all set. The smell of food is rich upon the air. And there are a few people in here. In fact, as you left the room that you were initially in, the master's office, as it were, you've passed a few monks. And these monks differ from you, Mooney, in a certain way that you've noticed that every one of them carries their weapon, not in a sheath or put away, but it's always in hand. And two, you know that many monks fight without armor of any kind on, but these particular monks, almost all of them are wearing armor of some sort, chainmail or scale. They
Cheaters.
appear they definitely do appear to be a warrior people. Warriors through a martial art.
They really love their weapons. A lot.
The pole arm with the sword on the end. You see that that's a very common motif among all of the monks in this particular area.
It looks pretty cool. Like, I look at my Genesis spear and my Silvered spear, and I'm like, a little jealous.
All right. All right. Well, let's see about that. One of them kind of notices that you're eyeing his weapon, and he looks at you, and he looks at your spear, and then looks back at you. And all you're really able to pick up from that with your passive insight is that he kind of sees your admiration. You're not sure how to read it. You're not sure if he's kind of looking at you in like a mocking, kind of looking down way, if he's maybe thinking of you in a patronizing way, or if he's really just wondering, why is this weird lizard guy staring at me? But you do pick up that one of them noticed you noticing him.
Yeah. I admire spears. I give him a look like the sup, you know.
Yeah. And you say, I noticed spears.
No, I also collect spears. It's pretty cool what you got there. Hey, where's the master?
Uh, you have quite a few questions in a short amount of time without even introducing yourself.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My name is Moody Rumbleforge. I come from Weathertop.
I am Bringy of Bladespire Mountain. And he extends a hand out to you. Exchanges his weapon from one hand to the other to do so, and says, This newcomer, this is not a spear. This is what we call a glaive.
Oh, that's pretty cool. What is this? What's the advantage of using a glaive over a spear? Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to. I know we're busy, but like I don't usually get to throw out with spears here.
Indeed, I understand the confusion of it. The glaive, on the other hand, as from what a spear is more for the thrust and the pierce, whereas the glaive also doubles with the wide sweeping motion as well as the slash. The glaive, though the tip might not be as formidable for piercing through steel, has more versatility into it.
You don't say.
Indeed, and it is a favored weapon amongst those here at Bladespire.
Do all the monks use glaives?
We do not all use the glaive, although those of us who wish to live in a life of example, as though we were the first of the monk of Bladespire, Sir Ragnar the Vicious, who founded this monastery. His favorite weapon was that of the glaive. They said that he had a glaive enchanted and imbued with such power that it could cleave through the scale of any dragon.
Oh, that's crazy. Cause like I don't wear armor because I got such great scales.
Ah, I see that upon closer inspection. To be a dragonborn with a glaive must be a high honor.
Oh no, I'm not dragonborn. I'm a lizard folk.
I have not heard of your kind.
Oh, there's probably not a lot of me around. But does the master practice with a glaive also?
Between you and I, friend, I hope there's not a lot of both of us around. Yes, the master has been around. He keeps to his quarters. It's honestly, it's right there behind me. He points to a door behind him. Though I'm afraid he will not be able to answer any of your questions. If you
Yeah,
have not heard,
I asked the new like Obak, right? And you know,
oh, Buck, bad blood.
You're not
oh, what's
fond of Obak?
yeah, what's wrong with Obak?
The Master Gudre, he fell ill 2 quarters ago. We have had newcomers seeking to become members of the monastery, though none have been able to become full-fledged members, because Gudre still breathes. Though I have my suspicions. It
Well,
is pretty common knowledge between you and I, might I just say, that the day before Gudre had fallen ill, he and Obak had a disagreement. They shouted and yelled at one another. Obak has always been second in command for as long as I have been here, and it is known that she envies Gudre's position as master. Though, as long as he draws breath, she cannot take that title. She does not have all of the tokens needed to become a full master of her own, though tradition dictates that if we do not have a challenger over enough period of a time, that she could take that position. And he leans in real close, I believe she has too much motivation about this. Too much is riding on it. I have never trusted her.
And you are for Gudre, and you would like him to live, correct?
oh
I-
shit, Nakman. Holy crap. Scared me there, buddy.
As Nakma leans in over your shoulder. I very much would like to see Gudre restored of whatever malady is afflicting him.
Well, that's
Though-
great. I mean,
Nakma looks
you
at
might
his
be able to
friends
heal
and
him.
says,
what's
there is
wrong
something
with Gudre?
afoot in the monastery here.
I'm afraid I did not catch that. Your Minotaur friend.
No, it's okay. Let me repeat myself. Yeah, I mean, Ember, would you be okay with looking at Gudre? I've seen you do healing feats.
Yes, I'd love to. So what is your name? The one we're speaking with.
I am Bringi.
Bringy.
Indeed.
Can
I was
you?
once a warrior of Hammer's Rest. One of the Jarl's men. However, I had dishonored myself. And I came here. I hung up my shield. And I sought to renew my honor.
Now is the time for you to earn that even more. So, can you describe to me the malady that Gudre has befallen?
Gudre. You
I
gotta
was
put like
not-
a weird D at the center of that. Sorry,
I don't have to, Mooney. I can pronounce it however I like.
Well, it's my name. I'd prefer if you
No, I
pronounce
was
it.
talking about Gudre.
Oh, no, Gudres, yes. Well, he is the master, and respect would be appreciated, though you are foreigners, and your accents are harsh upon my ears. I understand.
Right, and now we wasted a bunch of time talking about the pronunciation where I could be finding out more about this malady.
Now, an impatient Torto man, aren't you?
I'm
Very
very
I'm
much.
with him too.
Indeed.
Seems to do well for your master.
I did not see Gudre fall when he did. I was out chopping wood at the time, although when it happened, word had spread across the monastery like wildfire. Now, it is said that he just collapsed. I don't know much of that, though now he only sleeps. It has been 2 weeks, and he does not leave his bed, does not move, does not even blink. You might ask, how is he even still alive? And that is only because we apply a medicinal drink for him. A small tonic of honey and water that we give him so that he might be nourished. Well, we all take shifts in changing his bed sheets from the soil.
Who is in charge of creating this honey water?
It changes from person to person. However, I would not. Perhaps I should mention that it is Obak who has commanded that he continue to be fed this to keep him alive. I had
see.
not given that much thought. Do you suspect that the honey water is the source of his predicament?
I have no reason to think that now. But where are you sourcing this honey from? Can I investigate?
We bring the honey from the town of Barrow. They have an apiary, a few. Although the small structures that they have in order to keep the bees producing honey throughout the winter, I believe they do so with the aid of a single druid.
Very well.
All right. Well, we'd love samples of the honey and this mixture for
Indeed,
testing purposes, of course.
it is only honey and water, but we keep it in the storeroom just down the hall. You are welcome to visit and see.
Are
Excellent.
there any windows in this area that we are in?
Yes, there is a window at the end of the hallway that is letting in the last little bits of light.
By the end of the hallway, you mean here?
Yes, where everybody pinged.
Everybody picked. Okay, so while he's talking, I would like to just sort of take on an air of like checking out my surroundings, just kind of like hands behind my back, looking at the torch and things. Just very casually go up to the window there, kind of open it for some fresh air, and lean out a little bit. And what I want to do is I would like to pop Zach out of his little plane that he is in, just to the side of where anyone can see, and instruct him to go invisible immediately. And I'd like to whisper an instruction for him to please go find Dorn, and once he finds him, to let me know.
The half-orc.
Correct.
Your familiar looks at you.
Master, I have not seen what a Dorn looks like. I have never seen this one.
I'm trying to think if there were any identifying qualifiers to this person, and I don't think that I can think of any. There are probably many half-orcs here. With that being the case, Zach, stay close, stay invisible, and by close I mean do not follow me around in this building.
As you command.
Zach, what is wrong with you? I have heard this works. Sorry.
The rest of you look over and you see Balthazar staring at the window. So,
Damn
Scaring
birds.
the birds.
And I close the window. Oh, there. You know, Mooney. You know. My God. I thought I'd get some fresh air quickly, and about 4 or 5 birds tried to fly right in here. I stopped them though.
Ember, did you want to go check out the honey and see if there's anything wrong with it?
Yes, I think that's one important step.
I thought we could just examine the master. That's what I was trying to rush to do.
Let's do that too. If you'd like to do that first, that sounds great.
Is it okay if we go and meet with the master? I cannot remember this guy's name now.
This guy's name is Bringy.
Bringy. It's written right in front of me, Bringy.
Ringy.
Sorry.
yeah, he pulls up his shirt. It's like, "Hello, my name is Bringy," and but he points to the door that's just behind him, right here. It's a modest door. It looks like every other door that you've seen in this area.
right. Bringy, do you want to come with us so that we're like not accomplice to murder if he accidentally dies while we're checking him out?
Why would he accidentally die?
It's a valid
Uh,
question. It's a
no,
good
it's
question. I
just
like where you're going with that, Mooney. Yes, please
yeah.
accompany us.
Can you please come with us? Like, I don't want anybody to suspect that he died because of us if we like leave here later.
Very well. I will accompany you into that room.
Thank you for being our valet.
Very wise, Mooney. That is very wise. So away we go to check out the master of this place.
It opens up. It opens up into. Oh my god,
It's so
hiccups.
good.
It opens up into an incredibly modest room. There is a chair, or a couple of chairs, a table, a small chest, a bed, as well as a pile of a small table with a green tablecloth and personal belongings. But it's almost nothing. It looks like exactly what you would picture a soldier on the march to own, which is the armor and weapon. There's
Is it
little to
placed at
nothing
his,
else in here.
like on the side of his bed?
No, it's the armor is actually hanging on kind of a mannequin, an armor stand. The weapon leans against the wall close to his side, and that's the gist of it. That's what you see upon first inspection, first glance.
All right.
It's very plain and straightforward.
Yeah,
Ember, can you
it looks
examine him?
exact.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Sorry. Ember, is there any way you can examine him?
Absolutely. Walking up to the master, I reach down and touch my little sea star and ask for guidance from Agapalaja. And as I walk up, I do a medicine check.
Mm-hmm. You check his pulse, you check his breathing, you check his eye dilation, you check his gag reflex, you check his body for anything and everything that you suspect could be a malady of some sort. His skin is the color you would expect it to be. You don't see any kind of swollen veins around his throat or anything. He's breathing clear. Medicinally and physically, he appears to be in excellent condition. However, you also note that he is an older man, a human male, and appears to be somewhere in his late 60s. But
Is there any
everything
stitches?
everything on his body appears to be healthy. He's not showing any signs of illness or poison.
Okay, I try and rouse him.
Nakma steps back towards the door quietly so not to startle the old human man with his monstrosity.
I kind of shake his shoulders and say, good sir, can you wake up? Are you in there?
As you shake him about his body, oh man, as you shake him about his body, it doesn't react. It's as if he's asleep. You can open his eyes and his eyes will stay open, and you can close his eyes and they stay closed, but he doesn't respond or react to any kind of stimuli.
Check his legs, Ember.
Well, that was part of my medicine check, I believe, but I can look at specific extremities. And so I give him a pat down looking for any, like, bug bites or needle marks I could do a really, really in-depth check for his body.
Investigation.
Is he, like, super toned?
Despite the fact that he's in his late 60s and he doesn't look like he would be, as Ember is looking him over, lifting up his tunic and everything, you see that he actually is like somewhere around 0.2% body fat.
So
Okay, I'm just...
Nat 20!
Whoa!
Yeah!
That's what it is.
Total
Wow.
of 23.
While Ember is doing that, I'm also looking him over at the same time for any arcane marks, sigils, anything that looks of a magical nature.
You do see, Taz, you rolled first, that he does have tattoos across his body. They appear to be almost totemic in nature, although they are also covered in runes. You recognize a few of them from your background as magical sigils, although you cannot tell if they are made with any kind of magical ink or anything like that. But
Where if they are
Ember,
fresh.
they are not fresh.
Okay.
Ember does an investigation check over the body, looking over the extremities, is what he said. Oh man! And as you do so, you pick up his left hand, and on his index finger, there is a tiny welt at the tip of his finger. It is black. It is small, and it looks like a pinprick. And despite hearing that he fell ill 2 quarters ago, this does not appear to have healed almost whatsoever.
Interesting. I look down. Can I tell if it's poison?
Give me another medicine check.
Appalizer, be with me again. We're doing fine. We're going to do this.
I feel useless. I'm just kind of like standing in the room.
18.
Looking at it, the thing that bothers you about this is that you see that it appears to not be healed at all. In fact, as you're looking it over, trying to see if there are signs of poison, so you give it a gentle squeeze on the tip of his finger, and it even begins to bleed just a little bit, as if the wound is still open. But there's nothing about it to suggest poison. It's just something that you kind of like make a connection in your mind. You're not sure what else it could be besides poison,
Right. Okay.
but there's no signs of it.
All right. My good friend, Brinky. Can you come over here?
Aye.
Yeah, I believe I have found something important.
And what is that?
Come over here, Lord. I'd like to show you.
Show me.
Closer. No, just kidding.
How much closer?
This here on his finger. It appears as if he's been injected with some sort of, I don't know, sleep agent, poison of some kind.
A poison.
Perhaps. There's no way to know for sure.
That makes no sense to me. I must be honest. It is well known that a monk of his skill should be uncorruptible, pure of body.
Or perhaps there's something been injected.
Oh, it could not be poison.
No, I mean like a magic sliver, or some sort of rod of metal or something that would disrupt his key.
That is something that is more likely. I would believe that over poison.
Well, I tell you what. I'd like to cut his finger open. I can heal it right away.
This is unorthodox and strange.
You're talking to a turtle person.
I do. You didn't let me finish.
Sorry, go ahead. You're right. I'm interrupting Turtle today.
As I said, I do not come from what strange land it is that you come from. If there is a place in the world where bleeding the blood heals, then perhaps if it works there, it may work here. And you have my blessing.
Excellent.
Forgive me. I had a piece of bread stuck in my throat, and the hiccups today are absolutely frightful. I might be pure of body, but hiccups are still a malady.
All right.
It happens to all of us. It's okay.
Mooney, I need your steady hands. Come over here and hold him down for a second.
Yeah, Badger says you have to do hiccups every time you're at the monastery. That's just the way they talk.
No worries, Ember. What exactly are you going to do to cut his finger? Can you describe it for me as I hold his hand?
Yes. I unsheath my blade. I give it a turn in my hands for a second, and then I bring it down to where the opening is, and I'd like to cut from the opening down the soft tissue.
Oh.
Part of
it
me
as steady as I
wants
can.
the old dungeon master from 10 years ago would make you do a check on here to see if you sever his finger. But,
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, as funny as that would be, no, there's no check required. You are able to do exactly as you wish.
Okay. I'm investigating to see if anything's been injected.
I will
Oh.
accept either. I would accept both investigation or medicine.
Okay. I'll let's hold on a second till everything gets back on.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay, now we're back. All right. Yes. Elijah again. Be with me, please. Let's do this. That could have been better. Come on, big four. Okay, 15.
You can
Nice.
heal this, right? It looks a little rough.
Oh yes,
Sorry,
no problem.
I should have gave you a sharper knife.
Nah, my dagger's pretty sharp. It is silver after all.
Investigating the finger, you can see nothing out of the ordinary on the inside of the soft tissue.
Strange, very strange. Okay, I will magically heal him then, and seal him back up.
What spell do you cast?
Cure wounds.
You cast Cure Wounds upon the hand. The tissue itself seals itself back up, leaving behind the minor scar of the incision. However, you will note that the pinprick refuses to heal.
Yes. Okay, I turn to my friends. All right, what's ailing him is not it's not a typical wound. There's nothing inside the wound, and my healing magic should have been able to heal it normally. So he has been cursed of some kind.
It looks like it just went right back to normal. Can anybody sense any kind of weird magic coming off of this?
What do any of us know of magic? I mean, I know a bit of the occult, but when it comes to magic, my gifts are granted me by Soleos, and he has not deigned to show me how to reveal magic to myself.
You can't
Yes.
sense any kind of magic in the area?
I have looked this man over for any type of occult runes, symbols, and though he does possess some, they seem to be old and not the source of this curse.
Is this some sort of hex, guys? I mean, I've heard a story of like a lady poking herself on like a spool, you know, like one of those thread spools, right? And she went unconscious for almost months.
Yes, a magical item would explain it. Absolutely.
There are many variables. Ah, I have an idea. Mooney, may I perhaps see the 8-ball?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask the 8-ball like what actually caused him to be like this, but that wasn't really a good idea for a question. I hand him it.
I take the 8-ball into my hand, and I hold it for just a brief moment, and I say, is Obak responsible for this wound? And I flip it over so that the image can reveal itself.
Oh, but what if it was like a dagger or something like that? I mean,
The question has been asked.
A spectral image appears in front of you at the full height of yourselves, as if you were standing there watching somebody. But the starry lit silhouettes take form. You see a proud warrior who looks to be about the same size and frame as Gudre. In his hand, he is holding a massive glaive, a very powerful legendary weapon, without any doubt. And he stands in front of what looks to be a feminine figure. He offers up his hand, and she pokes it, and then the image fades.
What? So we
There
can all
are-
see that, is that right?
You all can see that.
Yes, there are
It looked as
secrets
if it
here.
was voluntary.
Nakma closes the door quietly.
Your
Did Gudre-
insight check is correct there, Ember. It looked very voluntary.
Did Gudre see that?
Gudre is the man on the bed. You mean
Bringy.
Oh, Bringy.
Yes.
Bringy.
Bringy saw it, and as he's
Bringy.
looking at it, he's like, "Oh, that would appear to be Gudre in that image, although he is without his favorite. I had not noticed before. That is not Gudre's favorite glaive lying beside the bed. The legendary weapon of the monastery has been. It is not here. And
yet
beyond,
you're just now just making this determination.
I have not been in here to visit Gudre, and we have not. No one has spoken of this. It is
Maybe this
unusual,
is not Gudre.
and more so, that figure that hunched in front of Gudre in that. I do not know who that was, but Obak it was not. Obak stands proud.
So Gudre was seen allowing himself to be ingested or poked with some type of a needle or device.
it
now
wasn't
you're-
Goodray. It wasn't Goodray. He just told you that. It's
No.
It's Obak and somebody else.
No,
Oh,
He said it
so it's
wasn't
Gudre.
Obak. It's
it-
Gudre.
it was Gudre, but that was not Obak. She stands too tall and too proud.
And now you're telling me that the fabled weapon of your monk's order is not lying here where it should be?
Perhaps Obak has it.
That seems a bit of a leap, but as second in command, would he take on such responsibility as to keep that legendary weapon safe?
She.
The weapon should be kept safe,
I
but I did not know that such a weapon was even missing. It is terrible that we must know more about this. Indeed,
I guess what I'm trying to say is, even if we found it in Obak's possession, she could just be taking her responsibility as second in command seriously. It doesn't mean that she's responsible.
Yeah, we tend to jump to conclusions a lot.
So,
Dungeon Master. When looking at that image, was there a view to the outside world? Am I able to tell what time of day it was during this?
no, you cannot. You only see the figures.
It's
I
like
only
smoke.
see the figures.
And can I
of
investigate?
Like a hologram.
Of the other figure that I seen, did I get any type of indication of what its race may be?
It looked humanoid, but it was not the body and frame of a proud warrior.
Very well, very well, very well. The plot thickens, am I right, gentlemen?
It does indeed, Taz.
So the question is, why would this proud master of a fabled monastery put his own life at risk to lie here dormant for what?
Yes, what is he protecting?
Well, he was not
What is
a
so secret?
he was not a dumb man. I'm sure he was very wise. So
That-
we should find out.
Of that we can both agree.
What
Uh,
if I've heard of this before? What if he's astral projecting?
Astral projecting.
Would I know that, DM? Sorry.
An intelligence check with advantage.
All right. Sorry, guys. I don't know if I know that. Sorry. Give me a second here. Nope.
That was a save. I don't know if that makes any difference.
Oh, shit.
I don't think it does. It's +1 either way.
You hit the wrong button.
It doesn't matter.
Hit and it doesn't. All right.
Yeah, it probably just give me a
You
better roll.
you would not know that this is astral projection or not.
Sorry. I wouldn't know what astral projection even is at this point.
You would know
so
what it is for
disregard what I would
sure,
say.
but you would know what it is for
No,
sure, but you just wouldn't know how to spot it.
Okay. Well, this appears to be a dead end. Let's
Fringy,
I'd like to go check out that honey. You guys can continue asking questions if you like here.
I'm with you, Ember. I love honey.
Fringy,
No.
I do have one last question. Are you still with us, my friend?
Yes.
Have there been any unusual departures lately? Has anyone left the monastery that seemed out of place or out of order? I must tell you, I fear that your fabled weapon may have left the monastery already.
From time to time, people leave the monastery, but I was very busy with my chores that day. I did not see. Perhaps you could ask others who may have seen more.
Which day?
2 weeks ago,
2 weeks ago. That is the
when
day in
Gudre
question?
when Gudre had fallen ill. Others might remember something unusual, but people leave from time to time. I would suggest you ask others in the monastery to see what their stories tell.
Are there any guards, or is there anyone who is responsible for monitoring the master's chambers, who would know, at the very least, an official count of who has come and gone?
There is not. I'm afraid it would be one man's word against another.
Well, I do have ways of making sure people are telling the truth.
Oh, he does indeed.
Yeah, and I crank my fingers together like this.
No, not like that, but yes.
This may be a strange question, but where were we 2 weeks ago?
Dragonsport?
Two quarters ago, you were actually resting up in Fiolta. 2 weeks ago would have been just a little bit, probably a day or two after you had initially cleansed the plague.
Okay.
If only we were faster.
So this, I am thinking this to myself, but no, I'm not even gonna say it then. Okay, so perhaps we should retire from this room and have a conversation, my friends, amongst ourselves.
Sounds good.
I feel a sudden need for
I
privacy.
agree.
Yeah.
And so,
Hey, you've been a real big help. It's Bringy.
I
hope
encourage you. I encourage you to ask others on how they may help. I wish to see Obak brought to justice for the transgressions against our monastery.
Bringy,
We don't truly have proof yet.
right. I was just exactly what my friend Mooney says, and because of that, Bringy, I would, and all of us really, especially your master, would greatly appreciate it if you would keep these discoveries to yourself for now, until such a time comes as we may reveal all the things that we have learned.
Yes,
I will do
we need
so.
utter discretion.
I will do so out of respect for the master. Good
Good
luck.
pun.
All right.
And you guys leave the room, and we're gonna let you kind of ponder what just happened for a moment on like a quick 5-minute break. I'm setting a timer. Let's see if we can actually make our break 5 minutes this time.
5-minute break.
John's the only
Start
one that
running.
caught that utter
Ready,
discretion.
All right.
All right, quick break. Go.
Our brave heroes traverse the snow and ice. It's almost like what we devils feel when you banish us to the hells below. Not so funny now, is it, mortals? At any rate, I digress. You haven't come here to listen to me ramble. You want to know what happened last week? Well, here's what I remember. Act 1, wherein our heroes discuss the morality of consorting with elves. Nakma, Ember, and Mooney began their questioning of Balthazar. Their intention was to learn more of his miraculous return. Taz began weaving a tale most curious. Even I was blind to these events as they transpired, so I found the discourse fascinating. It turns out that my little gift of a familiar had gotten Balthazar into a spot of trouble. Apparently, he used that disgusting bug Zack to contact a high elf by the name of Kalefell. Everyone's favorite warlock must have made quite an impression, for it was Kalefell who resurrected him, not me. Seeing Taz as more of an ally than an enemy, Kale returned him to his friends. For now, there seem to be no strings attached, my little heretics, but when dealing with elves, one can never be too sure. Act 2, wherein our heroes shelter in place. Faced with yet another Amarthian storm, our heroes hunkered down for the night as best they could. Between sleet, snow, and fierce winds, they managed to survive. Young Nakma proved quite adept at keeping the shelter in good shape. Meanwhile, the pious Ember kept them warm through the long, cold night. Oh, such a good Ember. Low on supplies after leaving their makeshift shelter, our Arctic adventurers encountered a formidable manticore. Not wishing to starve to death, they ambushed the beast in the hopes of restocking their food supplies. Taz landed the final blow and used his devil-driven gifts to absorb the creature's essence. Oh, how Ember seethed, my little heretics. For a brief moment, I thought he would strike the warlock down then and there, but no, he hesitated. Mark my words, little minions. A conflict is brewing there, and trust me when I say the devil will have his pound of flesh. Act 3, wherein our heroes learn a valuable lesson and reach their destination at last. After the scuffle with the manticore, for it can hardly be called a fight, our heroes continued on and found a most pitiful Yeti attempting to play dead. Having already seen this trick, the Frozen Four attacked without mercy. The Yeti, though, and this is the truly delicious part, my little heretics, was not faking it at all, but truly injured from the manticore they had slain earlier. By Agapalasia was Ember distraught. He healed the creature, and as a reward for their kindness, the Yeti presented them with 2 glorious diamonds. Well done to all. After this, they continued on to Bladespire and learned that their quarry was inside and accepted as one of the monks. Mooney discovered that the master he sought was ill. I wonder, will Thaddeus truly continue with his plan to murder the half-orc? Have our Arctic adventurers now become nothing more than Arctic assassins? Only time will tell. Come, sit with the devil, and we will watch it all together. How are we this week, my little heretics? It's so lovely to see each of your smiling faces. all cooped up inside your homes, watching our brave heroes traverse the snow and ice. It's almost like what we devils feel when you banish us to the hells below. Not so funny now, is it, mortals? At any rate, I digress. You haven't come here to listen to me ramble. You want to know what happened last week. Well, here's what I remember. Act 1, wherein our heroes discuss the morality of consorting with elves. Nakma, Ember, and Mooney began their questioning of Balthazar. Their intention was to learn more of his miraculous return. Taz began weaving a tale most curious. Even I was blind to these events as they transpired, so I found the discourse fascinating. It turns out that my little gift of a familiar had gotten Balthazar into a spot of trouble. Apparently, he used that disgusting bug Zack to contact a high elf by the name of Kalefell. Everyone's favorite warlock must have made quite an impression, for it was Kalefell who resurrected him, not me. Seeing Taz as more of an ally than an enemy, Kale returned him to his friends. For now, there seem to be no strings attached, my little heretics, but when dealing with elves, one can never be too sure. Act 2, wherein our heroes shelter in place. Faced with yet another Amarthian storm, our heroes hunkered down for the night as best they could. Between sleet, snow, and fierce winds, they managed to survive. Young Nakma proved quite adept at keeping the shelter in good shape. Meanwhile, the pious Ember kept them warm through the long, cold night. Oh, such a good Ember. Low on supplies after leaving their makeshift shelter, our Arctic adventurers encountered a formidable manticore. Not wishing to starve to death, they ambushed the beast in the hopes of restocking their food supplies. Taz landed the final blow and used his devil-driven gifts to absorb the creature's essence. Oh, how Ember seethed, my little heretics. For a brief moment, I thought he would strike the warlock down then and there, but no, he hesitated. Mark my words, little minions. A conflict is brewing there, and trust me when I say the devil will have his pound of flesh. Act 3, wherein our heroes learn a valuable lesson and reach their destination at last. After the scuffle with the manticore, for it can hardly be called a fight, our heroes continued on and found a most pitiful Yeti attempting to play dead. Having already seen this trick, the Frozen Four attacked without mercy. The Yeti, though, and this is the truly delicious part, my little heretics, was not faking it at all, but truly injured from the manticore they had slain earlier. By Agapalasia was Ember distraught. He healed the creature, and as a reward for their kindness, the Yeti presented them with 2 glorious diamonds. Well done to all. After this, they continued on to Bladespire and learned that their quarry was inside and accepted as one of the monks. Mooney discovered that the master he sought was ill. I wonder, will Thaddeus truly continue with his plan to murder the half-orc? Have our Arctic adventurers now become nothing more than Arctic assassins? Only time will tell. Come, sit with the devil, and we will watch it all together. How are we this week, my little heretics? It's so lovely to see each of your smiling faces. All cooped up inside your homes, watching our brave heroes traverse the snow and ice. It's almost like what we devils feel when you banish us to the hells below. Not so funny now, is it, mortals? At any rate, I digress. You haven't come here to listen to me ramble. You want to know what happened last week. Well, here's what I remember. Act 1, wherein our heroes discuss the morality of consorting with elves. Nakma, Ember, and Mooney began their questioning of Balthazar. Their intention was to learn more of his miraculous return. Taz began weaving a tale most curious. Even I was blind to these events as they transpired, so I found the discourse fascinating. It turns out that my little gift of a familiar had gotten Balthazar into a spot of trouble. Apparently, he used that disgusting bug Zack to contact a high elf by the name of Kalefell. Everyone's favorite warlock must have made quite an impression, for it was Kalefell who resurrected him, not me. Seeing Taz as more of an ally than an enemy, Kale returned him to his friends. For now, there seem to be no strings attached, my little heretics, but when dealing with elves, one can never be too sure. Act 2, wherein our heroes shelter in place. Faced with yet another Amarthian storm, our heroes hunkered down for the night as best they could. Between sleet, snow, and fierce winds, they managed to survive. Young Nakma proved quite adept at keeping the shelter in good shape. Meanwhile, the pious Ember kept them warm through the long, cold night. Oh, such a good Ember. Low on supplies after leaving their makeshift shelter, our Arctic adventurers encountered a formidable manticore. Not wishing to starve to death, they ambushed the beast in the hopes of restocking their food supplies. Taz landed the final blow and used his devil-driven gifts to absorb the creature's essence. Oh, how
I
We're
actually
live.
joined. Yeah, we're live. I'm just
So-
restarting my Roll20 is all. It's not a big deal. I just
Okay.
accidentally joined John's game and I loaded up. I'm like, why is there a giant fucking dead dinosaur in the middle of the town?
Whoops.
I'm looking at the
Spoilers.
wrong map and everything.
So
Yeah,
do
some
we
shit
have to
happens.
refresh our Roll20 since you restarted yours?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay,
That was
just
quite
asking.
the pop.
You guys ready?
Yeah, but first, in accordance with the law of chat, shots have been requested. Everybody has a drink or whatever. Cheers. Thanks for watching, everybody. Happy quarantine times.
Cheers.
Keep your 6 feet, sucker.
Yeah.
Stuff. It's good stuff. It tastes so good when it hits your lips.
Huzzah!
Touch.
Tastes like
Skull.
alcohol.
Prost.
Huzzah.
Well, you left the quarters of the master. You have learned that he has an unhealable pinprick upon his finger that no one yet has noticed. You saw a vision of him meeting with someone who looked to be a woman, though not the same frame of a proud warrior like Obak. And it's also been revealed that the monk that you were with is questioning why the legendary weapon of the monastery appears to be missing. Something that he was unaware of, was not shared with him, and is not talked about. This is new information to him. And you all asked to leave so that you can go and investigate the honey, which is just down the hall and in the storeroom so that you may go and see for yourself the honey that is used to keep the master alive.
Question. Did Taz recognize anything about the clothing that this individual was wearing, particularly in style, particularly in reference to any type of a earthen style?
The figures are much too vague for you to pick out clothing style. However, you will note that the figure that seems to have picked the finger of the willing Master Gudre appeared to have been wearing garments that were more flowing, not somebody who does martial arts, but more like someone who's just wearing long, comfortable clothing.
Okay.
As we walk down to the room with the honey, I put an arm around Nakma. Hey, good catch there, big man. I would have never thought to look for that pinprick.
Nakma silently and resolutely just looks down at you.
Indeed. Let's go check out the honey.
Thank you. Sorry, I was thinking about honey.
Me too, actually.
You move into the next room. There are supplies of all sorts of different things, food and dry goods that the monastery keeps. There are clay jars and clay pots, and it does not take you long to find the honey that the monastery uses for general consumption, as well as the honey for Gudre in particular.
Is this kept separately?
I was just going to
Yes.
ask that.
It does not appear so. You see that there are 2 jars, and they are side by side.
Well, I mean, he has his own private jar.
Gudre Select.
Yes.
He has his own jar. Although Bringi is no longer with you,
Yeah.
there are other monks in this particular room going about their chores, or crafting, or various other things needed in order to keep the monastery functional.
Yeah,
Do
I'll
they
take
all
a
have
vial.
weapons too?
Oh, go ahead.
They all have weapons too? Sorry.
No one in this monastery has been without a weapon.
I was asking like what were they holding? But you wanted to get a vial of this, Ember?
Yes, I reach into my alchemist kit and I pull a vial and fill it with the honey and hold it up to the light. Look for particles, look for anything unusual. I'd like to also take another vial of the other container and inspect them side by side.
Give me a perception search. And Mooney, you asked about what weapons they are having. There is, of course, the iconic glaive that is used by the warriors here in the hands of one of these monks. Although two of the other monks, one being a female, much older, she appears to have a long sword, a hand and a half, so it could be used two-handed or one-handed. You also see that there is another orc, a male, and his weapon of choice, you see that along his sides, he keeps a belt of 6 hand axes.
It sounded like you said sick hand axes.
They're so sick. They got like
They're sick.
carvings on them, and
So Nakma is going to dip his finger into the honey and then take it out and put it into his mouth and clean it off.
which
Good
jar of
honey.
honey?
Nakma, please don't do
The
that.
right
You didn't wash your hands, Nakma. Don't
Which
do
jar of honey did you do that to?
The right hand, right finger with the right jar. Wash my hands. What are you talking about?
So you're trying to say you were in the right place at the right time. Got it. So, what was that your most recent? That was 25 plus 1 for your perception, Ember.
Oh yeah.
Am I correct?
You are correct.
Okay. All right. So, from what you can tell, based on looking at it, the coloration, the age, the particles, everything, there are bits and pieces of what look like the wax from the hive floating in it. It's not been filtered. It's raw honey, but you don't see anything in there, smell anything that to give you any kind of pause for concern. Nakma dipping his finger, the right jar happening to being the jar of the master, his personal reserve, big glob of honey right in your mouth. And as it dribbles across the jar onto the floor, down part of your chin and into your mouth, there's nothing that tastes unusual about it to you. However, the half orc who is currently sweeping the floor, actually, no, he's a full orc. The full orc who is currently sweeping the floor with the 6 hand axes, he stops what he's doing and just like,
Some damn good honey you got.
no, it's fine. Make yourselves at home. I can see by your species, no doubt you were raised in a barn.
That was a good one, Nakma.
It was. So I'll take my middle finger and dip it in the left container and put it in my mouth.
With a big glob of honey pulling out of the jar, dribbling it down the side of the jar onto the shelves, across a bag of grain, onto the floor, and even further down your chin and matting itself into the fur of your chest and tunic.
Absolutely. Sloppy
You-
as shit.
You enjoy another glob of honey, and it tastes just like the previous glob, although maybe even sweeter.
This is so good. Reminds me of home.
To the orc just looking at you and looking at the mess that you're making.
For science, dear orc. Well, hey, excuse me. What was your name, sir?
My name is Groduff.
Rodoth. We have taken it upon ourselves to investigate what has befallen your fine master here. Is there anything you can tell us?
Yeah. Something unusual. While Obak has always had a difference of opinion on the route the monastery should take, and always had conflicting interests with Gudre, The day before they had their argument, the day before he fell ill, they fought like never before. Rumor is Gudre sought to replace her. He was going to remove her of her rank.
Oh, a demotion then.
She was defeated by the master?
No, would
She has never been able to defeat the master, and so with the master saying that she no longer deserves her position of second in command.
interesting to make room for someone who might one day be able to defeat Gudre.
Indeed, her title as Lady of Steel was going to be given to one of the others in this monastery, a mountain
Wait.
dwarf by the name of Bari Lummerkin.
And then he would be called the Lady of Seal?
Bari would take the position, and he would be the Man of Steel.
Oh, that sounds... Yeah, okay.
You know, I
What was her
expected-
transgression?
I expected Lord of Steel, but Man of Steel just sounds so much more on point. Yes, what was his transgression?
He accused
Her.
Obak of
Her.
cheating. Obak instead turned it on him. She said that he had been cheating for years and that she knew everything.
What's your perception? Do you believe Obak or do you believe the dwarf?
I know what you're thinking. That orcs stick together. And normally you might be right. But if Obak has been cheating to keep her position as the Lady of Steel, that is dishonorable. And I follow my commander. I follow the master without question.
That, my friend, I do. I truly believe that. Since coming here, I see that the people who agree to take up this mantle, they cast all previous allegiances aside. And so you do your monastery a great honor.
There are those who don't agree. He looks over to his side, casting a side-eyed glance at the other female with him, the female with the two-handed sword. The entire time she's been standing there, her arms crossed, staring down Grodov. You do not know of what you speak, Grodov. You make accusations, but you have no proof against the master or against Obak. You only seek for the monastery to be in the hands of a man. Tell the truth, Grodov. It is sexism. That Gudre would die before he saw a woman rule this monastery.
Is this true?
Yeah, was he sexist?
So you say they were both accusing each other of cheating. What were these accusations against each other?
Can I do an inside check on Grodov's face when that accusation was brought apart?
Yeah, anybody can give me an insight check right now.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted it to pass by.
No. It's important.
15.
No, thanks.
You can see that both of them, both the woman, whose name I have not given you yet, and Grodov, they are both very heated in their belief on this. They both firmly believe what they are saying. Neither one of them comes off to you as facetious.
Go ahead.
You see, Ember, truth can sometimes be relative.
Well, all
So-
she was saying was that he didn't
Very
have
good
any
truth.
proof, which is true.
She has no proof either. Accusations.
She says that this man and the leader of this monastery do not wish for a woman to be in charge. They say it is a matter of skill and none else. For one, it is a matter of skill. For another, it is a matter of not prejudice, but sexism, for sure. So,
Obak is skilled, but she is also jealous and filled with rage and emotion.
And so it was cheating then that Gudre kept Odok from winning.
That was my question. Who cheated?
Obak cannot become master unless if certain circumstances. Normally, a monk must gather the tokens of the schools and challenge a master to become the rightful master. However, should a master fall ill or perish and cannot serve, then second in command takes that position. Obak knows she is good, but not good enough to defeat Gudre. It is known.
how many monks here at the monastery possess enough tokens to challenge the master?
Thank you, Taz.
None. None here possess. Only Gudre, as the Lady of Steel, has any right to take that title. And when she learned that her position was threatened, I have no doubt in my mind that she did what she had to. You make accusations again. Grodov, you have no proof. This is dishonorable. You seek to put women out of the position. You would not see women rule this monastery either. I do not deny that Obak is a fierce warrior, but you instead lay accusations because you would not follow her, would you?
Please,
I have
please.
chores to be done, and I have spoken enough on this matter.
We appreciate your candidness and honesty.
You.
Grodov
Definitely,
leaves the
thank
room,
you.
broom in hand, along with the massive glaive that he has, and he storms out. With a loud crash, the door to the room slams shut, and you feel the timbers of the walls shudder.
Oh, strong one, that one. You,
There's
ma'am.
much anger in him.
What was your name, ma'am?
You may call me Aelin. You look at this female fighter. She is definitely a much older fighter. Her face is weathered from many years, but the two-handed sword on her back is clearly pockmarked and scarred from countless battles. She wears a modest clothing, giving her almost the appearance of her grandmotherly age. She appears much more gentler and kind than you suspect she is capable of.
And you, Aylin. What do you believe happened?
She looks to the sides a little bit, making sure that you are all alone in the room. And then she approaches you and moves in a little bit closer. What I am about to tell you is not something that is very well known in the monastery. It is true that Obak and Gudre did have a fight the day before. However, I have spoken with Obak. You might discover that the monastery's precious heirloom of the Glaive of Legend is missing. Most people do not know about this because it would cause distress and chaos amongst the rank here. For without the glaive, the monastery is defunct and we hold no position to the other monasteries. I was awake early that morning, the only one at the time. I saw Gudre leave the monastery hours before sunrise, the day that he fell ill. He had the Glaive of Legend with him, although when he returned, he was unarmed.
Oh, and who stands to gain if your monastery becomes defunct? Is there another monastery that would take its place?
Good question. Thank you.
The only other monastery is thousands of miles away. Should the glaive, or should the master, should this monastery fall and lose recognition to the other masters, none here could gain.
Is there any in Barrow that wish to overthrow the monastery and take control?
Barrow is a simple town. They hardly have anything that you might even consider to be law. Indeed, it is
believe-
mostly a town of outlaws, bandits, and thugs, or those who were too poor to leave when the ruins of artificers had dried up and the riches of the land stripped away.
My belief is
Who
that
better than
we-
bandits, outlaws, and thugs? As Nakma looks at Ember.
No. My belief is that the master hid away this glaive of legends so that an unworthy successor would not take hold of it.
That is a theory, and I am a woman of reason, and I will not argue that it is not possible.
Or
Though,
If these
I
two parties are accused of cheating, and I apologize for interrupting you, but are they not both unworthy, if their honor is so besmirchable to be accused? I am told that these monks here of the Kensei rank are of the highest honor. Yet these two stand accused as cheaters, and they are also in line to be of your highest rank? No. Your master foresaw this and knew better. You
And
should
there is
trust
no
in him.
honor here with
I
cheaters.
I will forgive you for your outsider impression, but here at Bladespire, the highest rank is held by that of the highest skill. Honor is important, but it is skill that holds the position.
I see. So we reveal a dark underbelly then, for when we came through these doors, we were told that you would set aside your past life, lay aside all past grievances, and so on and so forth. But what it seems to me is that skill rules the day here, not reason, and certainly not honor.
Your skill is who you are today. Your history and your allegiances outside of these walls, that is your past. Here, you are your blade.
Very well. And I appreciate you for speaking frankly. And with that,
I have many duties I must attend to.
I got one.
Dragonborn, you wish to speak?
Not Dragonborn. I'm a lizard folk.
I have not ever heard of your kind.
Yeah, it happens all the time, I guess, up here. Yeah. I guess not really common. I don't really know. Anyway, so where is the dwarf that's destined to be the Ironborn? Iron Man. Man of Steel.
Bari,
Got it.
he is here somewhere. I have not seen him in a few hours, though he no doubt is tending to his chores. Typically, Bari works the stables. Outside of these walls, his past life, animal husbandry, was a skill of his. Inside of these walls, though his past is forgotten, the skill remains, and we put that skill to use.
Why would people see him? Never mind. That was a dumb question. I'm gonna go back to my corner over here.
She leaves the room. She departs, takes her leave, carries her supplies with her, and closes the door behind her, leaving you alone in this room.
Would like to reach out to my familiar and take a peep through his senses and see where he is at the moment.
Perched upon the highest spire of Bladespire Monastery, you'll look about in the area. You see that there are still monks who are tending to duties around the grounds. It is still some time before the sun sets, and he's just taking in the sights.
Balthazar, I have an idea.
Very well. I also have an idea. Perhaps they coincide. What is yours?
I also have an idea.
Doubtful they
I-
also coincide.
Shall we Rochambeau to see whose idea we do first?
No,
Shred them, you beautiful tortoise, you.
So, you have an invisible friend, right?
Yes.
So, no doubt you've most likely sent them to find our quarry, is that correct?
If you know me, my friend.
Have they found him yet?
No. Even now they sit atop the tallest spire of this monastery. I had a sudden urge to place them as watch over the wounded master, but if you have a better idea, I would
Well-
gladly entertain it.
I was just thinking to myself, how would you describe Dorn to someone who's never seen him before? How did you accomplish this feat?
Well, you see, initially I had sent them out to find Dorn, but since this familiar had never seen the half-orc before, I just simply sent them out for a watch, but if any of you had any identifying characteristics or markers, that would help me very greatly.
That does bring me to my point. Perhaps it can look for a half-orc doing the most menial of tasks, and perhaps its robes were not as worn in as the ones who have been here for a long time.
So an initiate, a novice, perhaps. Okay, all right, that...
Because
That could
although
be
there are
useful.
many half-orcs, most of them have very nice weapons, and armor and things along that nature. An initiate would have to give up his materials and earn them back, if I believe I know.
That is true. That is true. You are right. They are required to give up their arms and armor when they come in. And it hasn't been very long, unless he is a savant.
A place to get started, perhaps.
All right. Okay. So I will communicate this to Zach. Some new information, my little devil friend. I want you to look for a half-orc that seems to be doing some of the most menial of chores, perhaps sweeping, dishes, simple repairs to fences or other things, weeding, gardening. It can be difficult to say, but look for someone who seems recently come to this place.
I will search.
What
If
if
you are
he's just a
seen,
guest?
if you are seen, or somehow discovered or sensed, you must let me know immediately so that I can make you disappear.
I see half-orc now.
What do you see? And I zoom in on what he sees.
You cannot. You're gonna zoom in on what he sees.
I apply the 4 times zoom filter.
Enhance.
Yeah, I just mean I see through his senses. Okay, I zoom in.
Yeah,
It
focus on the
flies
bridge.
closer, of course.
Magnify.
Yeah,
Enhance.
magnify.
There is a half-orc right now. He is actually has 2 buckets in his hand and is walking out towards the main gates on his way towards the bridge.
I recognize this half-orc.
That's the one.
He is on his way to the main bridge.
Yes.
Hot diggity.
Oh,
no. I promise I will not act in haste. I promise I will not do anything hasty. I snap back to my own senses. I tell Taz to take up his, or not Taz, but Zach, to take up his spot back on, well, to keep an eye on the half-orc. Keep his distance, but keep an eye on the half-orc. And I tell my friends, I have found our quarry. He, even now...
You found him! Where is he?
Son of a bitch, you were here the whole time still?
You forgot.
That is jumps from behind Mooney.
Oh my
Of course
goodness.
I've been here. Where is the half-orc? He's the anomaly in the timeline. This must be corrected.
Can't you follow the chronotons?
Oh,
Even
this
now,
place is overflowing with him. The trail passes across itself so many times, it's like a tangled mess of wires. Look, I know you don't know what Ethernet is yet, but one day you might understand.
he is currently collecting water from a well.
To have internet in Madron.
Well, then we should go see him right away.
Thaddeus is already running out the door.
To the
I
well.
run with him.
Because
Yeah,
I told him he was collecting water from a well. Just to be clear, I was hopefully trying to misdirect him.
He runs outside. Thaddeus gets to the courtyard and he starts looking around and he sees that there is a half-orc with 2 buckets. And he stops and he stares at him. He's looking him up and down. Thaddeus has never seen this half-orc, so is not entirely sure that this is the one he's looking for. But as you all file out of the room and you all look in the various directions around the courtyard, you see the half-orc from Dragonsport. Thaddeus looks back and forth between what you're looking at and at him, and he's trying to line up the eyesight and the vision. He's like, yeah, that's him. However, despite your expectations, Thaddeus does not leap into action. Instead, you see him he pulls out a piece of paper in his book and he's like, yeah, 2 + 4 + times 7. Okay. And he starts scribbling down notes with weird mathematical symbols.
Oh, he's
What do you do?
Hail and well met.
Where is Dorn, the half-orc?
Right here. And as he hears you yell out hail, looks over his shoulder, out the courtyard across to you, you see this half-orc just take a second of looking, and then he turns his back to you, puts his head down, and starts walking faster across the bridge.
Bridge?
Oh. Hey,
Yeah.
don't run. I just wanted to talk to you.
I send Taz to the other end, or Zach to the other end of the bridge, right here. Or actually, I'm going to say right here. So, I mean, if he tries to pass Taz, Taz is going to attack. But for now, nothing. Or Zach, damn it.
I sprint after him.
Sprinting after him, you guys rush to the other area.
We cannot get ourselves into a fight.
Thaddeus stays to the back. Mooney, I'm assuming, takes position up front. And you guys begin confronting the half-orc right there. He's trying to hurry him on his way across the bridge when he knows that you're chasing him. The bridge is shaking from Nakma's thumping footsteps, and he stops and he's like,
I'm definitely shaking the bridge.
the water, the buckets, now that you see their empty buckets are waving at his hands. He's like, what are you doing? Stop it! You'll get us all killed.
Go on.
What do you
This
want?
is cool. Check it out. I start bouncing. Ha ha!
Hey, stop.
Nakma,
Stop.
calm down, my friend. I know you mean well, but we must be serious here. Many lives are at stake.
Hey, it's slowing him down, right?
Dawn, why are you here at this place? We know you from before when you were a member of the cult of Genesis. Do not deny it.
Why would I deny my past? I am no longer proud of who I was. Why have you come here?
We have followed you here because the leader of your cult that was responsible for those atrocities was able to flee. And we seek more information on this individual. And
The Tiefling.
there's one here with us who says that your very existence could be a problem to a great many people. And I suggest that you stick with us so that we may figure this all out together. And I'm trying to persuade him, if that's applicable at the moment.
Go for it.
God, I thought you were gonna intimidate him there.
Seeing Taz take the honest path, I'd like to provide assistance by walking up behind him and saying, "Good sir, that we are perhaps your only way out of here alive."
I'll let you do so with a guidance.
Okay. Add it. Here, I'll roll it. There you go.
So
Ooh,
18.
18.
Yeah, and 18 on top. Or yeah, 3 on top, so 18 total.
I left Genesis behind.
So you mean to tell me that you know nothing of their motives or their ways of contacting each other, something, anything, because you must understand that much devastation was left in your wake, and carrying buckets of water across the bridge in the snow and ice is poor atonement for the lives that were lost.
I never said that I didn't have the information. I said I left them behind. Yes,
And
Genesis is still active. Obsidian, the leader of that cell, she's moved on to Kilgora.
what business
true?
does she have with Kilgora?
There are more like Obsidian. And they're meeting in Kilgora because her plans were thwarted. She said something about coming to the revelation that she should have tried it with fire all along.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kilgora has an active. Kilgora's capital is built upon the slopes of an active volcano.
My God, man, what has
Ugh.
become of you? You can barely speak anymore.
Are you that worried?
I left
You
that
feel
life behind me. I came here to start new.
To start new.
I'm no longer part of Genesis. I will stay here and study and train. And I will change the world for the better.
Then why didn't you
Okay.
hang your sigil on the gates like everyone else?
Because I threw it in a ditch as soon as I left Dragonsport.
Ember,
Okay.
Indeed.
tell me, does this man speak the truth?
Oh, let me find out.
Does this monastery know of where you come from, since you don't have anything to hang on the gate?
What did they tell you when you came here?
They mostly said shields were posted.
Guest or join? I'm a guest. Not hanging nothing.
Until the master awakes, I am not a member. But I will prove myself.
All right, so my inside check on that's 22.
He's not lying.
I didn't think so.
I will turn it to Thaddeus.
You turn
Thaddeus.
around and you see that Thaddeus is gone.
Oh, shizzle. Thaddeus! Thaddeus? Oh, this can't be good. He has all of the anomalies in one place. This is a bad idea, you guys. Come, off the bridge.
Did anybody come with you?
I run off the bridge.
The half-orc runs
Of course,
off
I
the bridge.
follow Ember.
He heads towards the gatehouse, taking your cue. Seeing the panic in your eyes.
Yeah, I'll go the same direction as him. I mean, depending on how far we were from the sides, but
I would rather not. Oh, fuck me. Okay.
I just want to make sure. Thaddeus is missing, and we're all all over that river. That was scary.
Look, you can say where you are. I moved you because I thought you were moving. If you don't want to leave, the bridge,
that's good.
I'm
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. I had a bad idea for a second there. So,
Animal
our
instincts
little
kicking in,
friend.
Emperor.
Yes, our little friend is missing. This is very interesting.
A
Dawn,
li- a-
go ahead.
A little friend.
Yes, a little friend. Our little friend is missing, and I fear for your life, Dawn. For as though you have given up your previous ways, as you say, we do travel with one who believes that your very existence damns many others.
He is speaking the truth.
That's unfortunate.
It is. We wish to remedy this in some way without further bloodshed.
I'll tell you what I know, but I have chores to get to. Obsidian took Genesis to kill Gora, to the capital of Kelmoria. There, she plans on using the sorceress boy. But he has joined them now. His powers are beginning to blossom, and he is already too late to use in her ritual. She
No,
instead
so
most likely seeks a new focus. A dragon sorcerer. Not wild storm magic like the boy has.
The boy has joined their cause
She
after
fills
everything.
She has filled his head with hatred for all of you for the death of his parents. She's using him as a tool. He is young and naive, but I saw what she was doing. And so I left. The rest had sailed. No doubt they have been in Kelmoria for weeks.
My God. My God.
Dawn, look me in the face. Are you responsible for our friend's death at Dragonsport?
What friend?
The wizard.
Lando.
No. I was in captivity that night.
this guy.
Oh!
Jesus. Mooney.
That ought to cure the hiccups.
I was in captivity that night in the
Is he
hall of
telling
the
the
Jarl. You know he's telling the truth because you
I
Oh,
know.
know.
that's right. Yeah.
I remember.
Right.
But anyway, I thought it was funny.
No, for sure.
I liked it.
So what are we doing here? We have a master who's been fallen ill, and we have a new quest. Do we just move on and find the answer here?
I
Well,
can tell you one thing. This man, this half-orc Dorn is not safe. Thaddeus's inconspicuous absence is no doubt an indication that he is laying his plans even now. Dorn, you are not safe. You are considered an anomaly who should not have survived.
What are you
Agreed, but how do we
speaking of?
proceed?
find
This makes
Thaddeus.
no sense to me.
We find Thaddeus first. Let's go.
I mean,
Kill Thaddeus' actions are going to put us in harm's way. Therefore, he may
Then-
betray us.
I tell Zack mentally, go and guard the master. Remain unseen. If you have any trouble getting into the monastery without being seen, do not try and wait for me to get there.
So, Doran looks at you. I have chores that must be tended to. He places his buckets down and begins gathering up firewood on the side of the guardhouses and gets to work on the stuff that he's working on. There's actually horses here up front, and he pours the water into like a trough right about here at the edge of the cliff, sets the buckets down, and then he goes over here and begins working on chopping wood and such. He does say before he leaves, if you wish to stop Genesis, you will find them in Kelmoira.
Is there an inn or a contact or a street or an alley? Can you give me any more than the name of an entire city?
Genesis is not in hiding in Kelmoira. They will be
My God.
easy enough to find.
So it is us who should hide in Kelmoira. Very well.
She knows what you look like.
Then why
You've
are we
made-
going there?
You've made an enemy.
Nakmo,
It's a good question, Nakmo. We haven't decided to yet.
I have
All
no
right.
doubt that they will continue their work. She believes she's doing the right thing. But the one that she serves, I have growing suspicions.
That's very interesting. We didn't know who is it that she serves. What can you put a name to that?
A shrouded figure in a hood who does not wish to be known.
What?
a shrouded
Oh.
figure in a hood. Is this shrouded figure in a hood male or female? Does anyone know?
It is a deep and powerful voice.
So a
Huh.
female then.
I cannot say for certain. You cannot make out features of this creature, this race, whoever they are. But the final clue that I have for you. I heard something exchanged between Obsidian once through a telepathic anomaly, an illusion, projection, astral projection, whatever it was, I do not know. But she spoke to a shadowy figure in her room, and they exchanged a name of something, a password. I don't know. Perhaps it would help you.
Speak it, man.
He looks around nervously. You see now that despite the horrible cold, there are beads of sweat upon his kind of grayish green, his large, flat front forehead furrowed in frustration. He adjusts his clothing and steps in a little bit. It's an organization from somewhere else. Obsidian and Genesis are just a fraction of it. There's some organization called the Resplendent Order of the Orient Dawn. That's all I know.
Where did you hear that?
Did you say Orient? Orient Dawn?
Orient.
Orient. Orient.
Wow, that's a lot to say.
Yes. Most likely as if these people like the sound of their own voices. I recognize that, right?
You got a feeling about it. I mean, it bears a striking resemblance to something else you've heard before.
Okay. Just checking. My God.
And then he leaves back to his chores. Looking nervous around him, he doesn't want to say much else he can see.
We must finish our affairs here quickly. If the Resplendent Order is involved, if it is what I fear it may be, then all of Amarth is in danger.
How do you know this?
We shouldn't discuss this in the open, right?
No, we should not. If I am listening nearby, then perhaps others are too.
My thoughts. Mooney, you say you have no more need for this place. Is that true?
I didn't say that. I need one thing.
What do you need, friend Mooney?
I want that glaive.
You wish to
And-
take the legendary glaive?
Yeah, it
Wish
does
to
sound very
remove
nice.
this monastery of its status?
Yeah, I want to open my own school.
So
I don't want to use weapons like they do all the time, but it does sound pretty cool. But I want a token. I need a token from this school to keep moving forward.
very well.
Well, I think perhaps that's setting your sights a little too high.
A token is not setting my sights too high.
Of their
Maybe-
legendary artifact glaive that makes them a monastery? I believe that does.
No, I think finding that is part of the key to this.
Yes, but taking it seems underhanded.
I didn't say I was going to keep it. I was thinking
Something,
about getting it.
Mooney.
You'll give it back, right?
Mooney, you see something. You see something horrible and unsettling, and it catches your attention, and your eyesight focuses on it. Upon the top of the guardhouse, staring down at you, is the most unusual raven you have ever seen. The thing that's unusual about this raven is that it finally dawns on you. You feel like it has been there the entire time. And in this raven's beak is a single eyeball that looks to be made almost out of polished glass. It is too pristine. An
Okay.
eyeball is turned directly towards all of you.
Does it know? Can
But
I
only
use sleight of
Mooney
hand?
sees it.
Hold on, what did you say, John?
Can I use sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand?
Yeah.
No, it's on top of the guardhouse. It's about 20 feet up and 20 feet away.
I'm trying to pull a weapon out to make a sneak attack.
Uh, yeah, you could sleight of hand that.
No. You know what? I will try to use my performance check to explain to my friends that there's something behind me. Right? Is that where it is? Like just out of the side of my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna make a performance check to try to explain to them that there's something over there without it realizing that I'm explaining that to them. And I'm going to take the magic 8-ball out, and I was going to be like, it reminds me of when we got the 8-ball back from your friend. You know, nearby, real close, like on my left.
Ember, you notice it too. In fact, you picked up on this at pretty much the same time Mooney did. But you see that there is this raven with a glassy eye in its beak. And unusual to both Mooney and Ember, this raven seems to be holding this eye as if it is trying to get the eye a better vantage of looking. It turns the eye towards you no matter how it holds its head or body. And the rest of you pick up on what Mooney is saying. And looking over Mooney's shoulder, you see this raven now too.
If you see it, don't be obvious about it. Continue speaking like we're having a regular conversation.
Perhaps I should just shoot it in the
Let's
face.
try to shoot the
I have my
raven
lips
or
with the
catch
beard
it.
as I say that. As I start scratching my mouth as I do it too. I'm just like hiding my lips in the beard.
Listen,
A giant dragon snout.
there's no reason for any of us to engage this creature. I can simply send Zach, who is nearby, if we wish to assault it. Is that what you all wish?
Maybe have Zach follow it as we shoo it off.
It's following us.
This is a creature with an eyeball in its mouth that is focusing on us. My experience with the occult tells me there is a spellcaster nearby.
I like Nakma's idea. Perhaps I miss on purpose. Have it follow it to its master.
Very well.
Thank you, Ember.
So you make an attack and I have Zach follow it?
Let me know when he's ready.
All right. And I fill Zach in.
Zach responds immediately and begins flying to your position. The little beetle wings flying, starts crossing over the bridge, has the raven in sight.
It's invisible, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to just go like, "Hey, Ray, Ember, what's that over there?" or something like that?
Just throw a rock at it. Just a dumb bird.
All things we could do.
Well, but Ember, you're a crack shot, right? You can nail him, right?
Yes, but I don't want to kill the bird. You wanted to run away.
Roast him.
So, is your friend in position, Balthazar?
My friend is in position. Ember.
Excellent. I scream out, I hate ravens! And I shoot a firebolt next to it.
Give me an attack roll.
If you roll a 1, do you hit it?
If he rolls a 1, he hits it.
No.
Oh,
my god! Wow.
That was close.
That is crack rolling right there.
Your
Wow.
firebolt singes the feathers of this raven, and for just a second, like the raven kind of like barrel rolls and dives down, and you're like, oh no. But it flaps again, picks up speed, and flies off and takes off in to the north or along the road, kind of along the ravine and away.
Let us follow it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I give Zach like 30 feet or whatever, and then I tell him to follow it.
That was a great tail crisper, Ember. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
right.
thought for a second I nailed it. Me
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Let's go.
God, you just do that? Like, okay, let's go.
Ember,
Yes.
Love the number 7.
What?
would you take my hand, please?
Yeah. Yes.
And I start running with Ember and check in on the senses of my familiar as it is following this raven.
You do that. You all start running this way, Ember, with you and Mooney having the highest passive perception. There's one last final thing that you notice as you run out of the gates and down the road. And that is one of those buckets that Doran had left behind lifts itself up by some unseen force, scoops up some water, and you see a bucket of water float down the bridge before it upends itself upon the bridge, and then the bucket is thrown over the edge.
Oh my
But-
God. I know what just happened.
But in such a hurry that you are, because this raven is escaping, you do not have time to do anything about it.
Oh no. I can't scream, Doran, watch out for ice.
Sure.
I do that. As soon as I see it poured out, I stop for a second and say, Dawn, look out for ice on the bridge! And I start running again.
Yeah. As you do that, and he's like, "What? Let me go look."
Oh no.
And you all run away.
Yeah. What's really gonna fuck with me later is if I hadn't have said anything.
So,
Are we running away from the monastery right now?
Oh shit!
yes, you are. And
Well, me
now,
and Ember are anyway.
God, it's so weird. You see that bucket just flip over, Ember? God,
Dude, I'm pretty sure I know what
there's
happened.
some crazy wind out here, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's Thaddeus. He was invincible.
Badger
Of
Sack,
course.
Badger Sack, you are correct, Badger Sack. It is 10 o'clock. That's typically the end of our night. Are we ready to call it a night? I mean, that's a great place to stop right now. Now that we know how Thaddeus really works with the timeline. He's all about the patch of ice or the bottle or moving that clay jar slightly to the left and waiting for time to sort itself out.
I'm in no hurry to stop playing, but as you pointed out, it's a great place to stop, so I will leave it up to the rest of the group.
I don't want to stop, but I'm just a junkie.
Yeah, I'd keep going if everyone else would.
Yeah, same here.
Let's
Go.
go.
Our hiccuping DM.
I know.
Yeah,
Just when somebody else caught the hiccups, I get them back.
Yep. I had like 5 of them, and that was it.
I had one.
So yeah.
All
It's your
right.
call, Jesse. We'd
All right.
keep playing if you will.
We're going to continue on for just a little bit then. We'll see what happens. You follow Zach Switz follows the raven for over 2 miles along the cliff edge of the mountain, down along slopes and far into the wilderness until it finally reaches a cave. And Zach Spitz lands upon a barren rock and just stops and waits as he has witnessed the raven flying into a cave and does not see a way out for it and waits there. It takes you 4 hours to get there.
Wow.
Flying over the terrain being a lot quicker than on foot. You have to go through some of the most difficult terrain a couple of times. Instances, the wind picks up once or twice. You swear Nakmal catches the wind and he's about to go off of the cliff. The frost is forming on all of your clothing and weapons, and you're certain that this is a fool's errand. That you might not be coming back from this. The terrain is just so deadly and so hostile. But finally you make it. It is 4 hours later. The sun is setting. The sun is down. It is getting dark. And there is a single barren rock and the opening to a cave that you come upon.
You guys see any Karens?
Yeah. Actually,
We need to
Mooney,
get out of this weather and into that cave.
you do see cairns. You see that there are cairns. There are weird, strange little effigies that are crafted out of twig and branch and bone hanging from trees. There's idols and totems and painted animal skulls and unusual symbols painted on the stones all around.
Is this the entrance to the cave here?
That is the entrance to the cave. Go ahead and grab your marker for whoever you are and put yourself out onto the battle map.
God damn Karens. Karens are everywhere.
Yeah, I was expecting that.
So, does anyone have any objections to me sending Zach inside the cave for some reconnaissance?
No.
As you approach the cave, the trees come to life
Oh my god.
in a metaphorical sense.
Oh, okay.
Hundreds of ravens begin cackling, screaming out, protesting your arrival. They surround the entrance of the cave. They are in the trees all around you.
Oh no.
Oh, it's a trap!
There's no need for reconnaissance. Whatever's in there knows that we are here now. Perhaps we should just announce ourselves?
Yeah, charge in, of course, obviously.
No, perhaps we should announce ourselves. Maybe
Oh.
there's a thinking,
Hey,
reasoning
use-
being inside.
Use the group name. Fish it out there. See how they like it.
I will come to a
Just kind of float it a little.
here.
Do you have a marker for yourself?
Yeah, sorry, where am I at here? I'm right here.
You're gonna stand
So
next
let-
to me. I'll watch your back.
Okay, you'll watch my back. Okay, so I'm gonna be right about here by Mooney then. And
That's Magma.
I will... Oh shit, where's Mooney? Where are you at, bud?
Right
Up
here.
Well,
Oh, okay.
right by the entrance.
I have
Okay.
2 for some reason.
So I move up, and what do I see in there, if anything, with my devil's sight? I've got 120 feet of dark vision.
It is very, very dark, and as you approach, you begin to see more and more of the cave reveal itself to you. Hold on. Wrong button. I want this one.
Ember, can you throw some light in there?
Wait, Mooney.
There you are.
Just one moment,
Oh.
please.
And now that you are this
Yeah.
close, you can hear the sounds of somebody chanting, singing, making a lot of noise.
Send in Zach immediately ahead of me, about 40 feet or so, and try to get a better glimpse of who or what it is that I see in there.
Zach moves in. The chanting and his singing continues. Just boiled brains and bags of rot, slimy mucus, turtle snot, ow! Withered bones and screaming babes, suckled teats and moldy veins.
Grandma?
What does Zach see? I moved him a little further.
Zach is able to reveal the rest of everything in here. However, where's my damn button? Button. Who's got the button? What the hell?
No
Should
button
be here.
for you.
Yeah, like
Johnson.
my oh, there it is. Reveal areas. Pew. You don't see anything in there other than the confines of an unusual cave. Although the effigies, the totems, and markings and sigils all remain, a cauldron that appears to be sitting on a cold fire. The fire burnt out and non-existent, but a cauldron sits there, its contents spewed out over the floor and slimy. Magical
Fair
implements
voice.
of all different kinds, but you don't see anything alive.
Where do I hear this voice coming from?
It resounds throughout the entire cavern. Look
Do you all
who's
hear
come
this?
to play with me, little
Mac-
old me.
Nakma is not comfortable and brandishes his axe and looks at
Yeah.
Ember.
This should give you strength. I say a blessing to Agapelasia and cast bless on the three of you.
Ask if they curse the master.
It should only give us 1 minute of protection, but it should help. Let us
Feel
go in.
uneasiness in here.
I will stay behind Mooney, but I assume Mooney is going to start entering the cavern at this
Yeah.
point. Okay.
Hey, who assaulted the master? Was it you?
Yes, we just would like to know.
Who are you?
I summoned
Hey, hold on,
I summoned
hold on.
Zach over to me.
I grab everybody real quick. I'm like, hey, don't use real names. I don't talk about this very much because I come from the Feywild, but don't make deals. Don't use real names, warrior.
Zach, here, I have an idea. Take this rope and take this end. Mooney, take this rope
and take this end.
and take this end.
And stake this end. Whose end will we see?
I suggest
Shall it
that
be
you
you,
do.
or shall it be
Run.
me?
Why do I smell kobolds?
Listen, do you guys see what I'm proposing? You each take an end of the rope. Zach here, Mooney here. Run until you all snag someone. Obviously, there's an invisible person in this room.
Brave little men, come into my cave. The weakened master you wish to save?
Oh dear, it's Yoda.
Plans.
Yes, you've found us out. We are here to save the master.
Without a doubt.
Ooh,
Rhyme.
a rhyme for one, a rhyme for two. You and I, I'll eat you in stew. That wasn't a very good rhyme, and I apologize.
Maybe we could give you good company.
Oh, company just like the master gave me 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't know you guys are dating.
Who are you?
I really want to know who
Long
are
distance relationships rarely work out. But now the master is down and out.
Well, that was a good save.
Does this
I don't.
does this
see
rope
anybody.
tactic reveal anything? Like basically drawing the rope through the chamber to, try to like catch them up in it, basically.
No. You have not revealed anyone. In fact, you're kind of getting caught up on the multiple stalactites and stalagmites around everything. The voice continues to resound around the chamber.
Zach, quit pulling.
Cool pulling. Okay. I'm trying to think of a tactic that can help us here, possibly reveal this creature, but coming up short. I'll be honest with you. Ember, do you have any ideas? Do you perhaps have a fog?
A single
Oh,
raven
man.
can be seen perched upon a stone far into the cavern with an eyeball in its beak. The voice almost seems to be coming from that direction.
Ping that.
It's the eyeball of Roger
Why
Daltrey.
have you come to visit little old me? You hear and you speak, but myself you cannot see.
We've seen you observing us, and so we followed you because there is a great mystery happening at the monastery, something that you have already revealed to us that you know much about through your nonsensical rhymes. So why don't you just tell us what your purpose is? Perhaps we can help you.
The master came and made a deal, and now his fate I have sealed.
And what deal is that he would make with the likes of you who would hide yourself?
So insecure he was, he could not be beaten. And so with me, the pact, he has swallowed up and eaten. He asked
Good save.
that he could not be triumphed upon, and the woman that threatened him, his position she would sit upon.
What were you promised in return?
He asked never to taste defeat. And so I've made it, the master shall never be unseat.
What has he given you in return?
A legendary glaive of some renown.
Oh my gods. So he has sacrificed the honor of his monastery for nothing?
He wanted to never lose.
And now he shall never lose. For how can he lose when he cannot fight?
Well,
And he forevermore will know this plight.
I must inform you that you have been betrayed. Even
Betrayed by me? I would
No.
not say.
Even now the monks gather to come and reclaim the artifact at the master's behest, for you see he left a letter. And they seek to reclaim what is theirs. We
Oh,
have come to warn you.
they come and they seek and look and they shall. But the glaive, they will know, cannot be found. Hidden away in realms ethereal. The glaive forevermore in the deserts of Boreal.
One such as yourself could have...
Take my head, they just might. But the glaive, they shall never again see its might. Is that cheating? I just rhymed might with might. I realize that's not very ominous. I mean, I'm...
No. You're doing
Throw me.
fine. Like,
Throw me a freaking bone here. I mean, I don't get very
No,
many
it's-
visitors.
Come, Raven.
Oh, yeah.
I have a cracker for you.
The raven does not follow your taunts.
What do you want for the glaive?
A deal. A deal must be made. If it's the weapon that you wished, the glaive.
Sounds like the devil's work to me.
Oh, the devil. He travels with you now. Although he is not one that I know his sound.
What sort of a deal would you require
So
from
we-
us for this glaive?
You wish the glaive.
Go on.
Hmm. Fun, 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 fun. A deal, a deal, a deal shall be made. These ones here wish to be saved. What do you have to offer?
The head of a gnome, and it was cured proper.
Heads? This one has no need of heads. And the eyeball from the raven begins floating away from its mouth, and it kind of dances in the air back and forth, swinging this way and that way. No, this one has no more need of heads. A woman of hideous form becomes known and in front of you, her head hanging by the hair off the top of her head in the hand of a body with no head of its own. The mouth continues singing, and its one eye socket is empty. The eyeball on the other hand, she's like, no, I have all the heads I need. Eyeball back in the socket, and she looks at you with the one good eye.
My gods. What are you?
Oh, I have many a name, but you may call me Baba Nerve Bladder.
I was
You
thinking
can-
Agatha Christie.
Ah, Agatha. Of Agatha. This is one that we know. Tell me then, Minotaur, how many shadows have you spoken to recently? Does the devil who walks beside you tell you his form is not known?
Pay no attention to her
How do
lies,
you know
Nekma.
the voices I hear?
Ah, Baba Nervebladder knows much. She knows that you murdered your own family.
That is not true. It's a lie.
You're
Wait,
right.
Wait, you murdered your family, Nakma?
It's only mostly true. Burned at the torch, squealing like pigs, though those Minotaur there, they burned upon that boat, that vessel, their fat, sizzling. But it was the
Just
devil's
say
voice.
no more.
The devil's voice in the shadows that prompted you to do it. An accident, you think? Or was it on purpose? Jealous of your older brother,
Accident.
Opa?
No, that was an accident.
An accident that you did. And so sinners come to my
No.
door.
She seeks to provoke you,
Dare
Nekma.
you.
Of course these things are not true. You would
Eh.
never harm your family.
Every one of you is guilty of something terrible. Even
This
the
creature was
turtle.
telling the truth. It would show itself.
Ember?
She continues to dance in front of you, like right there out in the open, with her head swinging by the hair in her hand. You all
Because she
have,
refers to the innocent's life that I stole.
you all have choices you have made, but you come to my cave to seek the glaive, and so I ask, what can you give? Nobody wishes to speak. Nobody wishes for the glaive that badly. You yearn and yearn, but have you learned?
How important is this to you, Mooney?
Not. It's not important to me. I'm going to become a master no matter what. The glaive just sounded cool. Like a topping on top of my mastery.
If you wish to restore the master, I have a favor that I must request.
What would you ask for? As a favor?
There is one in your future who you've yet to meet, a destiny whose fate lies at your feet. Take his life within your hands and follow through with my demands. End his life, so mote it be, and the glaive for you, you shall see. His name is Torvik. He is a devil Another fiend from the 9 hells, though he does not yet know it. For the good graces of Saleos, this should be done. And Torvik. And the
Talk
glaive
in
is
your
yours.
language, Taz.
Ah,
Just make-
the one who walks with the devil in his shadow has much to say.
Baba, you would ask this of a favor from me?
Of any of you.
You would ask this as a favor?
The hand who ends Torvik matters not, but that he dies at your hand, and my wrath be wrought.
Then our hands, our 4 hands.
And what if we do not follow through on this promise?
I shall give you half of a moon to fulfill it. Should you take the glaive from my cave and this bargain not be struck, then for the rest of your lives you will never know luck. Your skin shall crack, your blisters boil, your blood will rot, and you'll rot in soil.
Right. Can I do a perception on the hag itself?
Yeah.
What is it wearing? What is it holding? Anything in particular is interesting?
For the most part, she's a headless hag dancing around in wild rags. With your check that you got, allow me to switch back to chat so I can see the total. Ooh, not great.
Underneath, yeah,
Uh,
underneath my passive, but
She's wearing rags. She looks like she's dressed in the typical clothing of the Northerners. But the only thing in her hand, as one hand twirls around wildly with every word that she has, the other hand swings her own head by the hair back and forth as she stares at you with the one good eye and squints at you with the smaller white eye that appears to be almost blind.
Never make deals with hags.
Then never shall you have the glaive, and the master shall never be defeated. That
the eye
monastery,
itself,
Why?
though.
Why do you want him dead?
which eyeball, Ember? What?
One that doesn't appear natural.
The one that came from the raven, it appears
Yeah.
to be the good eye, actually. The one that she's looking at you from. The other eye appears to be milky and kind of rotted away. It oozes with something unnatural and squints. It sits there dead, gazing off into the wrong direction always. Okay, and Mooney, you said something.
Creepy.
Why do you want him dead?
Oh, dead? No, the master shall never die. Sit there on his bed he must. Sit there forever.
Not asking about the master. I was asking about the contract you were trying to make with us, the kill contract.
Oh, questions. You have questions you must ask, but answers for you. I must pass. His fate must end, for that you know. Anything beyond that is for me to know.
I don't know, guys. This sounds pretty clear cut, right? We just kill this dude and then we come back here, right?
A life for a life. You save the master and put the other to the knife.
I mean, we're killing a devil, right? This is not bad, right?
According to a hag, it's a devil.
You yourself said no deals to be made. I will have no part in this. I will attack it outright if that's what you wish. If not, I will walk away.
Well,
Attack
then what do we
me
tell
and
the
strike me
monastery?
down. Attack me and
No.
strike me down, and the glaive is lost.
Listen
Yeah,
to
I
this.
don't really care about a glaive.
Listen to
The
this.
master shall forever be cursed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine
if we
too.
don't bring back the glaive, then the master's going to be cursed. But the master's cursed because he went out of his way to make sure that he never loses because he fears progress, I guess.
Of his own doing. I have no part in that, and I will not risk my mortal soul of any way.
Ember, does this hag speak the truth? Is
Yes,
there
I'm
any
sure.
way to restore the master to receive the glaive?
Well, I know little of its magic, but I'm sure it's strong.
Fine.
Shall I swing away, Ember?
I will
Yeah.
commit this act in the name of my, what shall you call it, Pact Master.
There's some creepy thing on your face, Taz.
I'm going to do it for one
You've
reason.
spoken too late. I know that you wish to take this bargain upon yourself, but I
Don't
have
you
opened
dare,
my mouth beforehand.
No, Taz, this is
Saleos,
my bargain. You can't steal
Saleos
it
is
from
the
me.
one behind this, and I will make the bargain. If a
No,
devil
I'll
must
make
be
the
slain,
bargain.
it will be by
Ember,
the
what's your
powers of a
call?
devil.
I will leave these two to make bargains, and I walk out.
I follow Ember.
Ember and Nakma turn away from the hag. Two have gone, and two remain. 2 by 2, for 2 shall be slain.
The hag must die, Ember, you know.
Yes, but they must choose. It's up to them. I'm not going to make the decisions for them.
I'm with you on that. I hope they choose well, my friend.
We can only hope.
All right, I guess it's me and you, Taz.
On that note, I got some really great honey mead. Would you like to try some, Ember?
Absolutely.
One of us that can make this deal. Baba, I'm speaking to you.
Can
And
you
she
hear
remained
us?
silent.
Baba, can you hear me?
He's frozen. Jesse's frozen. Oh, no.
No, Mooney, if it is you who wishes to take this burden, then be my guest, but know that Saleos may ask this of me anyways. And so I may be forced to make this choice anyways.
Why would I cheapen out on this experience? I mean, I'm known for a long time you're not supposed to do this. And you've already made a bunch of pacts and deals to get to this point. This is for me, not for you. I want that token. I want to be a master.
Are you
Did
okay?
you
want to
not
help
hear?
the master somehow, but
Did you not hear her? She said that Torvik is a devil, and his slaughter is requested by Saleos.
Torvik the dwarf, right?
No, not Torvik the dwarf. Torvik the devil. We don't even know where this person is. He's to be introduced to us at some point in the future.
Have we heard of Torvik before at all?
No.
Not that I know of. I've never heard of Torvik. For all we know, this man is of highest honor. A pillar of his community, even, perhaps.
A devil is a pillar of the community? I don't believe that.
Some have called me a devil.
You're not a devil, Taz. You are my friend.
You stand there talking back and forth and bickering, and yet the deal is yet to be made. Start quickening.
At this point, I shake my head, snap my fingers, and remove my blessing from them.
I think that expired a long time ago. But yeah, I get the.
Come on, roller cool, Jesse. Roller cool, buddy.
I suddenly feel alone, Mooney. I feel a shiver running through my spine.
Well, I'm not going to let you do this alone. We can both make the deal together.
No, my friend. If you wish to make a deal with this hag, then I shall support you, but you will take that burden alone. I would never ask. I would never. If one is to make a deal with a creature such as this, it is a personal choice, and if it is the one that you are making, I do not agree, but I will support you.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. We have a deal.
Ah, a deal be made, and so shall you have the glaive. Come on closer, take my hand, and I shall show you the future. A whole new world. I mean, Never Neverland or something. I don't know. I'm not good at rhyming.
Okay, I take the hand that's not holding a head.
A bargain struck! Your pact is done. Take the glaive. Your quest begun. The glaive appears in her hand. It's a massive legendary glaive that seems to radiate with magical power. And she, with her free hand, puts it into your empty hand. And then as you take it, she immediately explodes into a shower of sparks and flame, the smoke of which takes the form of ravens in a cascade across the cave, black feathers flying everywhere as the ravens of the entire cave and outside take off to the sky. The cave is silent. A glaive remains in your hand.
Give witness.
Hold on
to
a
this
second. Hold
act.
on. I want to try this real quick.
Very
And
well.
I
hold
swing
on.
it as hard as I can at one of the stalactites.
Taking it in your hand, it strikes up and through, and it cleaves the stone with a mighty. The stone above shatters to gravel, leaving a clean cut beneath. However, unsettling, the clean cut seems to have an inscription from the slice. Looking at it closer, you see an unusual script in runes of some sort, an unusual, sharp, harsh-looking dialect that you don't recognize.
Do you recognize this, Taz?
I am sorry. What? Do I recognize this?
Yeah, do you recognize this, Taz?
I take a peep.
You see a script in Infernal.
My God, I do recognize this. What does it say?
He who takes up this blade shall wield power eternal. But just as steel rends the flesh, so must power scar the spirit.
That is what I read, but I did not read that out loud. I just want you to... I read that.
Balthazar immediately reaches into his pack, pulls out a bottle of some alcohol he had sequestered from Kael'thel, pours 2 shots, and takes one for himself, puts the glass down, takes the other one for himself, and then puts them all back into his bag.
I don't know. I feel pretty good about this.
Mooney, it says, "This is the glaive of friendship. Let he who wields it trust in those who are around him at all times, even when they feel murderous." And that's not great. Wait, whose role was that? Oh, okay, great.
It does, huh? That's great.
So, I think
I love
now,
this blade of friendship.
I think now is the time that we call it a night.
Yeah, I love the blade of friendship. That's what I'll call this. The glaive of friendship.
And can Emba say something on his way out first?
Ember's on the outside, and you got to say something on Mooney's way out.
That's what I said.
Oh, right. Okay.
Before we end it.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys walk out eventually?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Seeing the glaive in your hands, I walk up and say, my friend, I'm still with you on all things but this. When it comes to taking this life that you have just struck this deal with, I will not follow you down that path. But all others, I'm still your friend.
Okay. I respect your decision to do that.
Let's go back then. Or wait, we can't go back to the shrine. We can't go back to the monastery with that thing?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
This will heal the master.
Yeah. We have to heal the master with this.
Then why wouldn't he just kick your ass and take it from you?
Because I'm going to kill him if he does that. I've got the staff now.
You just said you
It's
were gonna
my
give it
staff
to
of
him.
Power. No, I'm not. No, I will give it to him.
You're going to kill him!
Yeah, well, it wasn't fun doing it when he was sitting down.
What we are going to do is heal him. If that is.
Oh,
what
yeah. We have to heal him first, then kill him.
No,
That'll
no.
be the honorable
We
way.
are not going to kill him either. We are just going to simply inform him of the new situation, which is that he no longer is the master of any monastery at all.
Oh yeah, and I guess we have to keep the glaive too because it's cursed now, right? Cursed with friendship.
There's no reason why you have to remain in that possession. You could just give it
Ember.
back.
Ember, it says friendship every time I cut stuff with it. Watch this. I cut another like rock in half.
As you cut the rock in half, it reveals like the six-eyed visage of a goat with 4 horns.
Yes, I do not think that means friendship.
No, that's
Those symbols are not holy ones.
They are not.
It's the goat of friendship.
I grab
Yeah.
Mooney
It's
and
a
I'm
goat
like,
of friendship.
it's okay, Mooney. We'll convince them later. I like look over my shoulder at
I was
Ember,
joking. We're not gonna kill the master,
Now.
but we need.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need the staff, the glaive to heal the master. I'm not giving it up because I just had to like give up part of myself to do this.
Ember.
Right,
Are
that
we
was pretty
going-
stupid of you, but that's just, that's on you, I guess.
I
Are we
kind of
going-
like it.
Are we going home, Ember?
I don't know. I actually, my gut tells me I'm going to Kilmora to stop this
Mine
cult.
too.
Yeah, we
Kilmora.
probably need this to stop them with Kilmora.
You
Ember.
don't need to make bargains like that for power to do the right thing.
We must
But it's
go
so cool.
to the Kilgore.
Yeah.
We must offer relief. I agree with you, Ember. I think we should go to Kilmoira. That is where Obsidian is, and we already know how to stop the ritual.
Okay, well, we might as well go back in the cave and stay there for the night.
Yeah, that sounds safe. Let's do that.
It's not safe because Nakma approaches Taz very hastily and with great ambition. Your god is talking to me, and I do not want him around. You better do something about it soon.
And good night.
All right, yeah. Ah,
Until he pull an ace.
yeah.
Good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Why does every good campaign start with a hag? I think Jesse's figured out the trick to D&D. Like,
Hags
Guys, I
are
really like this glaive. I think I'm
Definitely
gonna have to like
hag.
keep it forever.
oh my gosh, man. Do you have any idea how
Like-
hard it was for me not to cast command on that hag and just be like, stay? I almost did it. I was so fucking close. Like, look back over the footage to that part, and you will see me throw my hands in the air because I am like agonizing over whether or not to compel her to stay instead of going back to the ethereal plane when she was handing over the glaive.
but she didn't produce the glaive until the deal was made.
Oh, I know. And as soon
Yeah.
as she like handed over, I was gonna be like, stay. But whether that would have worked or not, I don't want to know. I'm just saying I was thinking about doing that.
The shit that just happened. Oh my god.
My God is right, dude. They set it off right here, dude. 'Cause
I love that. Like John's like, whatever you do, don't make a deal. Oh wait, you want to make a deal? No wait,
I'm
make
your
a
lizard
deal.
man.
Tell
I'm
me
your
more.
lizard man.
Tell me more.
Wait. This isn't gonna cost me my soul, but all I have to do is kill a dude? Oh, fuck
So
it. Let's
fickle.
do this.
I was wrong about hags. This was a bargain.
It sounds so easy.
Never
Dude,
make a
I was-
deal with a hag.
I mean, it was a phone in. Like it's some devil named Torvik that Saleos wants dead. That's a job for Taz. But Mooney's like, actually, I think I need to handle this.
Right?
I want this.
Like,
I wanted the
I got
glaive. I
this.
want the glaive, dude. Like I secretly, I want this fucking glaive.
I didn't want the glaive. I would have given it to you. I'd be like, no. It's
No,
dangerous.
what if I
Can't
couldn't
allow-
use it?
We can never
No,
have
what if
any
I could
friends.
not use it if
ever.
you didn't have it. Yeah. So now I finally got the glaive, which is part of Mooney's motif here.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
We're
that's
wanted
true.
men.
Yeah. Wait, are we?
We probably will be.
Well, yeah, after we kill the master.
Bunch of Kensei monks after our ass.
So what are we
That's
gonna
okay.
do? Like go back and be like, okay, so you're master now. I'm taking the glaive. Take it easy.
You're like, "Ah, Felicia."
I don't know.
Um,
Do you guys have any final last words for Dorn?
last words for Dorn.
Look out
I
for ice! Ice
Yeah,
on the
right.
bridge!
Yeah, those were my final words, I guess.
Ice on the bridge!
Right.
Where?
Look out! Run!
Oh, I love that.
Slide.
Just like Dorn, watch out!
What? Where?
No way.
Ah!
Don't
Fix the
step
timeline.
there.
And wait, does that mean Thaddeus is just inconspicuously gone?
Yeah, he
you
closed
didn't
he
get that? Yeah.
he closed his loop.
God damn it.
I
The
guess
loop is
you'll
gone.
see. I guess you'll see when you get back to town in the morning.
Fucking
Yeah.
time travelers, dude.
Didn't even
Right.
say goodbye.
Hey,
Yeah.
wait.
They're always
He
thinking
didn't
about
strike me
pie.
as the sentimental type.
I wish
This
he had said
doesn't mean this doesn't mean level 5 yet, huh?
Yeah, level 5.
Whoa!
Oh shit!
yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Barbarian just came alive, motherfucker.
So happy right now.
I think I can
I
take on the
know.
masters now, guys.
Yeah.
Now that I've got the glaive and
Level 5 is great. This opens up so many more opportunities to throw harder monsters against you now.
Right.
CR5 is way
I knew it
stronger.
was coming.
Yep.
She's just like, yeah, have 5. I got some shit for you.
Dude, so-
guys, I'm up
double
to
the deck.
45 feet.
That's how
Right.
a dungeon master levels up. They're like, okay, I just leveled up. I can fucking
I just
Um,
leveled up.
Yeah,
We gotta
My
roll our
character's
health.
leveled up to 5. I leveled up to 10.
Right? God damn, dude, I am so stoked right now though. This is gonna be awesome.
Stevicus
Alright,
Prime
I'm gonna
wants you to
roll.
name the glaive Tomodachi.
Yes, he does.
Tomodachi.
Tomodachi, what's that from?
I don't know.
Like Tamagotchi, but Tomodachi.
Oh,
Oh shit, are we doing hit points? Okay.
Oh, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
It means
We got a
friendship in
4-guy.
Japanese. Tomodachi is
So now-
friendship.
That's what
great.
I thought. I thought.
Come on,
that.
baby. No! Damn it. Shit.
Damn you, roll 20!
I got the fucking average, so
Fuck you, Nakba.
what is that, dude?
Totally rolled a 7 on 12. That's pretty
Yeah.
average.
Yeah,
Nice
that's
roll.
pretty average,
Good roll,
you're
good roll.
right. Alright,
51
so-
hit points.
Okay, I gotta go. Everyone say goodnight.
Have a
Say
good night.
Tracy.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
See ya.